as head coach of the Saints. He does have 2 years left on his contract. And there is Dan Marino sitting it out, recovering from the arthroscopic surgery on his right knee, also bothered by a sore left hip. And the return by O.J. McDuffie across the 25-yard line. 21-yard return. Brian Jones, backup middle linebacker, on the stop. And here's Bernie Kosar stepping on. Look at the Miami offensive line. Richmond Webb, Keith Sims, Tim Ruddy, Chris Gray, and Ron Heller. Keith Byers at the fullback position. Terry Kirby, the running back. Fryer, McDuffie, and Green are the receivers. And when they go 3 wide, we'll see Bernie Parmalee and Gary Clark. So from the 27-yard line, Miami Dolphins starting out with Bernie Kosar calling the signal. And looking to throw on first down. He goes sideline, and he does complete. A 14-yard hookup with O.J. McDuffie.
And that has to be a bit of a shock now for the New Orleans Saints. I'm sure they thought that Miami would come out, try to establish a running game because the Saints have been so bad against the run so far this season. And Bernie comes right out and shows you why they're paying him over $1 million to be a backup.
Bernie Kosar, only the 13th player to start at quarterback for Don Shula. Shula's had much success with backups taking over. There's McDuffie, 81, in motion. And a fumble. Recovered by the Saints. Terry Kirby coughed it up.
Not exactly the way you'd want to have the game start for Bernie Kosar. The Saints and their penetrating style of defense looked like it may have distracted Terry Kirby. The exchange just simply did not happen with he and Bernie Kosar. You could see the fact that number 93, Wayne Martin, was right there in the face. Terry Kirby looked up at him and lost track of the football.
All right, Ronaldo Turnbull on the recovery. And the Saints first down from the 36-yard line. Mario Bates finding the hole. Mario Bates in for the touchdown. Now apparently he stepped out inside the 1. Took the bump from the corner, J.B. Brown, and it'll be a 1st and goal at the 1.
And for the Miami Dolphins defense, Brian Cox just got slammed on the play, and that's what sprung free Lorenzo Neal with the big block. And a dream opening now for the New Orleans Saints. Come into this ball game 0-5. You expected the Dolphins to be all excited, and there's Cox getting slammed on the block.
So a 1st and goal inside the 1. Bates going wide, and now is in for the score. So the Dolphins allowing their first rushing touchdown. The Saints taking advantage of the fumble.
Always difficult to pin blame on a fumble exchange like that between a quarterback and a running back, but it certainly looked on the play like Terry Kirby just lost track of what he was doing, looked up, saw Wayne Martin coming at him, and boy, now all of a sudden you have this New Orleans crowd that has been so out of it for the last 5 games, now a factor.
Chip Lohmiller with the extra point attempt. So yes, the Saints are hearing it from this crowd as they take the early 7-0 lead.
It's easy to see why Ford has had 5 of the 10 top-selling vehicles in America for 6 straight years. Because when you look into a Ford, you'll find innovation, attention to detail, and exceptional value. Qualities that have made Ford F-Series America's best-selling truck for 18 straight years, and once again made Taurus America's best-selling car. With this kind of success, the next thing you see when you look into a Ford might just be yourself.
Laboratory tests show the Stanley Sharpshooter staple gun requires a mere 19 pounds of force to drive a staple flush. Our competitor's model requires just a bit more. The Sharpshooter, only from Stanley.
When you have a new reason for wanting the most secure life insurance, talk to the quiet company, Northwestern Mutual Life.
Here's an uplifting thought for the weary traveler. Come home to Sealy's most advanced Posturepedic ever for the back support you need. Now, the only foundation made from steel beams, not wood, is redesigned to be even stronger. Now, Sealy has a more sensitive sense and respond coil system, and its patented sensory arm senses and cushions your movement, then responds to your weight with increasing support, correct support, making Sealy America's favorite destination. Posturepedic support, only from Sealy.
Chris, a fast start for the Saints. Defenders of the Saints point out, yes, they're 0-5, but out of the 5 defeats, 1 was a thrashing by the Giants. The others 4 tough games.
Open right up against San Francisco, very much in that football game. And the thing they haven't been able to do so far is get the turnovers. They haven't been able to run the football. And so far here in the first couple of minutes, they get a turnover and have a rushing touchdown.
But coaches will tell you, or as Bill Parcells likes to say, you are what you are.
Are what you are.
Right, and the record is 0-5 as Lohmiller gets set to kick it off. McDuffie and Spikes are back. Irving Spikes with the return. Flag is thrown. Spikes is hit down and lost control of the ball and carried out of bounds. A 15-yard return. Good coverage by the Saints. The referee is Johnny Greer. And the call is being applauded by Saints players. It is against Miami.
And so far, Miami picking up right where they left off in the second half last week against the Colts, playing sloppy football.
Holding number 52 of the receiving team during the run back. First down.
That is Jeff Kopp called for the hold. Yes, flashing back to last week, at one point the Dolphins led 24-3 against Indianapolis. They allowed 24 consecutive points, lost it in overtime. Don Shula called it an embarrassment. The crowd in Miami booing the Dolphins for blowing the big lead.
You know, and it was so reminiscent of that game against San Diego in the playoffs last year, the same halftime score, 24-3. And for Don Shula, I asked the dumb question, had you ever had a game like that? And he just sort of smirked and said, yeah, I can remember one in the playoffs last year. So yeah, a lot of questions about this team and the heart and all the things that go with it when you start blowing big leads like that.
All right, Bernie Kosar and the Dolphins starting out now at their 11th-yard line. Bernie Kosar in his 11th NFL season, 31 years old. Made his last start as a member of the Cowboys nearly 2 years ago. And the second back coming through, Kirby, with a short pickup. A look at the New Orleans defensive unit up front. Johnson, Goff, Martin, and the converted linebacker Turnbull. The linebackers, Dixon, Tubbs, and Harvey. Spencer and the former Eagle Allen at the corners. Lumpkin and Buck are the deep men. When they go to the dime, Tyrone Hughes, Tyrone Leggett check in. A second down and 8 at the 13-yard line. Now Kirby flanks to the right side. Again, a long count by Kosar. Only getting the time, able to swing it. Byers, who had 5 catches last week, bottled up at the 16. The middle linebacker Winfred Tubbs leading the assault by the Saints.
It's so important that Winfred Tubbs back in this lineup. He was injured in the very first game of the season against San Francisco, and since his loss, also the injury to Rufus Porter, the free agent that came over from Seattle, this linebacker core has been playing a different position literally every game. But you put number 54 Winfred Tubbs back in the middle, and all of a sudden things much more settled now for the Saints.
Miami looking at a 3rd down and 5 at the 16. Gary Clark now flanks to the right side. Saints with a 7-0 lead on the Dolphins. Out of the shotgun. Again, Kozar got the protection, able to rifle it in for a first down. Irving Fryer with the diving catch, and that's good for 21. Eric Allen providing the coverage.
Boy, any questions about Bernie Kozar's arm strength just got answered on that play. This is a good matchup. We'll be watching this one all day. Irving Fryer against Eric Allen, the free agent who came over from the Eagles for big money, and that time Bernie Kozar able to zip it right by him. There's Irving Fryer, who's had a terrific year so far for the Dolphins. Really good year since he's gotten here.
Eric Allen has got a long time between victories as a member of the Philadelphia Eagles. Lost the last 7 games last year. He's 0-5 this season. Again, it's Fryer, this time wide open. That's good for 20.
And let's just tell it like it is. So far, Eric Allen has been a disappointment. They thought that Eric Allen, coming over from Philadelphia, could play man-to-man coverage against the other team's best wide receiver, a la Deion Sanders and what he did for San Francisco last year. Unfortunately, that has not been the case. Really, Eric Allen has been nowhere near that quality of a player, and in man coverage, he's really not going to be able to match up against Irving Fryer today.
And you know, Chris, he last experienced the thrill of victory back in November of '94 when the Eagles knocked off the Arizona Cardinals. It's been a long time before he has seen between W's. It's Kirby. And he was stopped at the line. The outside linebacker, Richard Harvey, on the tackle. Bernie Kozar's opened up 4 for 4 for 58 yards. It'll be a second down and 9 at the 42.
It was interesting, Bernie telling us how he got the news that he would be starting. Apparently Don Shula's radio show comes on Monday morning about 7:30. He said about 7:45 the phone started ringing, and it was one of those where it would ring like 100 times, time after time, so he knew that something was up.
You're saying Shula with the exclusive on his own radio show?
Yeah, you know, you got to make your money how you can.
Yes. And the out pattern thrown by Kozar to Byers, short of the first down. Spencer, the left quarterback, makes the stop. Bernie telling us last night he feels he still has the good velocity on the ball, and he said he feels he's particularly effective in throwing that out pattern that we just saw.
And that was the question mark when he was with Cleveland. There was some doubt as to whether or not that he had lost his arm strength, and he said that it was because they didn't have the protection in Cleveland, that he didn't have time to get back there, set up, throw the football. He was having to release it early, so consequently his arm looked weak because he had to sort of arc it in there to give the receiver time to come out of the break.
Now Bernie Parmalee in the backfield with Terry Kirby for this third down and 3. Kozar, it is dropped by Kirby. That would have been a first down. Tyrone Leggett providing the coverage. So that goes down as the first incompletion for Bernie Kozar.
And really, Bernie even pulled the string a little and made this a very catchable ball. And for Terry Kirby, you could see the head moving upfield, and obviously on a third down and short situation, you catch it, you fall down, you move the sticks and keep playing.
And here is Pete Stoyanovich, who certainly had his problems last week, although he did hit from 51, attempting from 54 yards away. And way off. So the Saints maintain the 7-0 lead. We'll be right back.
You think in color. Your computer thinks in color. So how come everything you print comes out black and white? Black and white. The Epson Stylus color printers, starting at $349 for the kind of brilliant color that will let your ideas be heard. You've got to see it in Epson color.
Thanks to Sprint Business, there's a company who does more business in skis.
Sprint gave us an edge.
Sprint worked with Volant and brought them real solutions to help them get ahead so they can check orders online from anywhere and promote new products through video conferencing. Now they do business a whole new way.
And sales are really soaring.
We'll help your business do more business. Call Sprint Business.
Ford introduces the all-new Taurus. where every curve flows into an ingenious new design, where one-of-a-kind ideas unfold, where everything you touch is soft on your fingertips. And even the back seat shows forward thinking. The all-new Ford Taurus.
Making the dream come true.
The NFL on NBC is brought to you by the all-new Ford Taurus, a look you've never seen from a name you know well. By Taco Bell, tacos, burritos, nachos, and a whole lot more. By UPS, the official package delivery company of the NFL. And by Epson. For brilliant photo quality color printing, you've got to see it in Epson color.
Well, this is the 20th year of the Louisiana Superdome. A look at Jim Everett in his second season as a member of the New Orleans Saints. Last year, he carried the offense, covering up for defensive shortcomings, 22 touchdown passes, one shy of the team record. He has proven to be a steal acquired from the Rams 2 years ago for a 7th-round draft pick. And a first down for New Orleans at their 44 following the missed 54-yarder by Stoyanovich. Mario Bates, who was tripped up by the strong safety Michael Stewart. A look at the offensive line for the Saints. Rofe, Dombrowski, Ulanay, Port, and Cooper. Rofe, an all-pro last year, comes off a tough game against the Eagles 2 weeks back. Everett, the quarterback. Bates is the lone deep back. Early, Haynes, Walls, and Smith are the receivers when they go to the 2 tight end. When they go 3 wide, Derek Brown and Torrance Small check in. It's a 2nd down and 8 at the 46-yard line. We're halfway through this first quarter. The Saints taking advantage of the early fumble by Terry Kirby with a 7-0 lead. And Everett's pass batted down.
Down by Tim Bowen, number 95.
Tim Bowen's able to get a piece of it. Cross, Bowens, Klingbeil, and Coleman up front for Miami, looking for more of a pass rush coming off what took place last week against the Colts. Singleton, Cox, and Hollier are the linebackers. Vincent and Brown at the corners. Stewart and Atkins, the safety men. Gene Atkins, a longtime member of the New Orleans Saints, going back to the glory days, so to speak, of New Orleans. Of course, this is a franchise that has not won a playoff game, but they had that record of 12 up and 4 down back in '92. Penalty markers are thrown. Everett able to get it away for Derek Brown, who was taken down by Chris Singleton. But let's see what the flags reveal. 16-yard pickup if it does hold up.
Offside, 93, defense is declined. First down.
Well, the call against Trace Armstrong of the Dolphins.
And Trace Armstrong, a guy that had his knee banged up a week ago, only played about 14 plays in that ball game. Derek Brown making the play. He was the starter here for the Saints before Mario Bates replaced him about 9 games into the season. Last year, they've had like 4 straight years that rookies have led this team in rushing, and now it's Mario Bates' job.
And the Saints with a first down at the Miami 37-yard line. Bates to the outside. He broke a tackle and then is hit down at the 35. He picked up 2. J.B. Brown, the right corner, on the stop of Mario Bates, who has come back from a broken jaw last season. A broken jaw, Chris, he suffered in a barroom brawl with his own teammate and blocking back Lorenzo Neal.
I asked him about it, and I said, you know, exactly what happened. He said, it's old news. I said, well, just give me a little bit of what happened. He said, well, you know, it's yesterday's story. Well, just tell me a little bit of what happened with the play. I'm telling you, don't ask the question anymore.
Chris,
so
not taking no.
Well, I stopped then. That was it. 3 shots, and then I was out.
2nd down and 7, and Bates is stopped at the line.
It was interesting, though, in talking to him, when he was actually talking to me,
yes.
He said about this...
you seem to have that effect on a lot of guys.
You know, I don't know, except you, unfortunately.
Of course. That's
but he did say about this Dolphin defense and that he felt that this was a defense that they could run against, and there were players down all over the field. There's Michael Stewart.
Well, Michael Stewart shaken up. Mario Bates also hobbling. We'll get back to Chris's fascinating tale in a moment.
It's easy to see why Ford has had 5 of the 10 top-selling vehicles in America for 6 straight years. Because when you look into a Ford, you'll find innovation, attention to detail, and exceptional value. Qualities that have made Ford F-Series America's best-selling truck for 18 straight years, and once again made Taurus America's best-selling car. With this kind of success, the next thing you see when you look into a Ford might just be yourself.
Business is about as predictable as the weather. You never know when a storm's going to hit.
And you need it when?
All you know is you have to respond. So UPS guarantees overnight delivery by 10:30 a.m. and even 8 a.m. And for problems that can't wait till tomorrow,
it's one chip that I need.
There's now same-day delivery. Only UPS offers you all these choices.
We're back in business.
But that's what planning for a rainy day is all about. UPS, moving at the speed of business.
Crunchy, salt, crunchy, salt.
Why are the 2 biggest, baddest sinners on the planet arguing over tacos when they can have this?
The new double-decker taco from Taco Bell.
That's big. What do you think?
Wait till they try this. Introducing the nacho cheese double-decker taco. All the double-decker taste you love, now smothered in nacho cheese sauce. Just 99 cents. Only at Taco Bell.
You guys are millionaires. Buy your own. Buy your own.
The Great Secretariat never won more than 5 races in a row. The legendary Kelso was victorious in 11 straight. Now the greatest horse of our time, Cigar, looks to extend his winning streak to 12 by winning the Breeders' Cup Classic. Just one of 7 championship Breeders' Cup races. Live October 28th on NBC.
Mario Bates learned not to mess around with Lorenzo Neal in a bar that night, and now Michael Stewart getting the same lesson. Lorenzo Neal, just a tremendous blocker up front, one of the better blocking fullbacks in the game.
It's a 3rd and 7 at the Miami 34. Everett, and it's whistled dead. Terrell Buckley continued on and finally pulled up.
False start, 70, offense, prior to the snap. Still 3rd down.
The right guard, Chris Port, called for the false start. There's Michael Stewart, a one-time teammate of Jim Everett, as members of the Los Angeles Rams shaken up just a moment ago.
And he's really a pretty good cover safety, and what we think is going to happen today is that the Saints are going to play quite a bit of the 3 wide receiver set because of the success the Colts had last week in that spread offense.
It's a 3rd and 12. Everett with a bullet pass. We'll have to see where they spotted Quinn early on the catch. Took the hit from behind from Troy Vincent. The crowd not appreciative of the spot, which is short of a first down. Picked up 9 on the play.
Well, because Early really never fought back and tried to gain any more yards, he should have been down where the initial contact was made, which is right there about the, I would say, short of the first down. I think that's a good spot by the official.
Couple of yards short, so Chip Lohmiller comes on for a 47-yard attempt. You see the number, 6 of 7. And will replace Morton Anderson. Saints have certainly been hearing about that. And Lohmiller hits the upright.
Sort of replaced Morton Anderson.
Saints with a 7-0 lead.
AT&T presents A Sure Thing, or is it?
They win it! Incredible!
In Super Bowl 27, the Cowboys' Leon Lett scooped up a fumble and had a clear path for an easy touchdown. It was money in the bank, or was it? Stay tuned.
In business, you can't always count on having enough time. But you can count on AT&T, because only AT&T guarantees you a competitive price. Our 1-800-COMPARE Center will give you an immediate side-by-side price comparison, and we're so sure that our prices are competitive that if you don't agree, we'll give you 1 month's worth of long distance up to $500. These days, you can't count on much, but you can count on AT&T for the life of your business.
Lett lost a sure touchdown when he started to celebrate too early.
It's a fumble. He had it knocked out of his hand. Oh, Leon!
Leon Lett, he learned the hard way that in the NFL, there's no such thing as a sure thing.
My daughter used to think fish just came from the supermarket.
You know, my son used to wait for rainbows, but now we go looking for them.
I know they learn all about the world in school, but now we can show it to them.
Isn't it amazing how opening one door can open up so many others? Ford Explorer, because the world's too big to be left unexplored.
Well, Bernie Kosar, the 13th player to start at quarterback for Don Shula, who has had much success with backup quarterbacks. Earl Morrow stepping in, remember, for Bob Greasy, helping the Dolphins to that undefeated season back in 1972. And Don Strock, a successful Dolphins backup for 13 NFL seasons. Under Shula, Miami has gone 30-13 in regular season games started by reserve quarterbacks, but as you can see, for the most part, that's because of the play of Morrow and Strock.
Morrow going 10-0 in that perfect season. A lot of people forget that because of the fact that Greasy came back and played in the Super Bowl, but that was really Earl Morrow's year.
So Miami with Kosar quarterback starting out at the 37-yard line. That's a rare handoff for Keith Byers. And short yardage picked up. Wayne Martin, the under tackle in the 4-3 of New Orleans, making the stop. How about the Indianapolis Colts knocking off the San Francisco 49ers in Indy? Next week, the Colts and the Oakland Raiders here on NBC as part of the second half of our doubleheader. The Colts last week coming from behind to defeat the Miami Dolphins. Jim Harbaugh's had a terrific season.
And the week before that, they knocked off the undefeated Rams.
Second down and 8. Parmalee, ankle tackle, stretching his way to the 45-yard line. Richard Harvey, weak side linebacker, making the stop.
And for the Miami Dolphins, you have to believe that they're going to definitely test this run defense. Under Monty Kiffin, the new defensive coordinator, the Saints want to penetrate. They want to get up the field, try and get into the backfield. But what that does is it creates running lanes. If one guy gets thrown or one guy gets blocked out of his lane, all of a sudden you can hit some big plays running the football. And that's what's been happening to the Saints defense all year.
It's a 3rd and 2, and it's back to the run. Parmalee short of the first down. Ernest Dixon, the strong side linebacker, making the stop. The Saints' problems in simplistic fashion have been that they have not been able to run. They have not been able to stop the run.
They can't get off the field. I mean, that's the big thing. But it looks like so far they've had a turnover, they had a missed field goal, and now Don Shula choosing to punt the football here if this measurement goes against them.
Well, both teams have already made their changes. The punting unit is on, so Miami figuring that they did come up short. 3.5 remaining in this opening quarter. I don't know. What do you think? Would you go for it? Or do you go for the punt?
Well, the rule is that when you have the better team, you'd be a little conservative. And I think that's what Don Shula's thinking is here, that it's a long game, and he unquestionably has the better of these two teams. So no doubt about it, he's going to go for it.
You gave 8 different options. That's very impressive.
I'd like to hedge my bet.
I can understand why Mario Bates would be upset with you. And so, as you so clearly explained, Don Shula and the Dolphins will go for it. It's 4th and inches. He pulled the punting team. The crowd urging on the defense. And it appears from our angle that Parmalee picked it up. Richard Harvey tried to stack him up. Bernie Parmalee surging off the left side. However, a penalty flag was thrown. It's against Miami. And that will bring back John Kidd.
Boy, a gutsy call by Don Shula to go for it on 4th down. He probably was thinking back to a week ago in which the Colts came out in the second half and went like 4 for 4 on 4th down against him and decided to take a shot, and then yet another mistake for the Dolphins. This has been a poor start.
First punt of the day. There's Tyree. Done it in the punt return game, averaging just under 3 yards per return. That's the worst in the National Football League. Kidd with a good punt and a fair catch by Hughes at the 16, a 43-yard punt. Well, looking ahead, Friday night, NBC will kick off its new Friday lineup, the season premiere of Unsolved Mysteries. And that is followed by an all-new Dateline, and then the season premiere of the acclaimed drama series Homicide. That is NBC Friday. Saints with a 7-0 lead on the Dolphins. Just under 3 minutes remaining in this opening quarter. Quarterback, and puts it up and completes to Quinn Early for a first down. It's good for 22. J.B. Brown on the coverage.
It was interesting talking to Carl Smith, the offensive coordinator for the Saints. He said, they leave these corners by themselves. They don't give those guys a lot of help, and we feel pretty comfortable with our wide receivers. They have good players on the outside. Of course, Michael Haynes, the guy that gets all the attention, but Quinn Early having a terrific season as well, and a very tough guy, willing to go over the middle and make plays just like that.
Lorenzo Neal now, the lone deep back. Mario Bates suffering a sprained ankle on the previous series. No word on whether he will return. Nice catch made in traffic by Early. Again, Brown on the coverage. Another New Orleans first down. This is good for 14.
And you can see the former Saint now, Gene Atkins, coming out of the middle and wanting to make some big hits. This time Early just able to avoid the hit. But one thing that he has to be careful about here, and he's emotional, he's playing against his former team. They didn't want him. They didn't want to pay him the money. He starts coming up too quickly. A little pump and go, a little action in behind him.
Everett is 4 out of 5 for 62 yards to the ground for Brown. And Derek Brown is bottled up by the combination of Dwight Hollier and Michael Stewart.
And Brian Cox just flying around like a madman out there, as he typically does. He wants to make contact in midair. He wants to make contact that knocks the guy backwards. And once he gets going forward, he's trying to wound somebody. Just runs right by him there. And I tell you, he probably has an eye out for that Lorenzo Neal, because Lorenzo Neal, the blocking back, has a tendency to put a hurt on people.
Second down and 7. Miami territory at the 45-yard line. Again, it's Brown getting the opportunity because of the ankle problem of Bates. Derek Brown about 2.5 yards short of a first down. Tackled by Chuck Clinbile. Derek Brown, in his third year out of Nebraska, a 4th-round draft pick 2 years ago. Usually provides a change of pace, and he is a receiving threat out of the backfield.
Yeah, but more than that, this has been impressive in that the Saints have the worst rushing offense in the National Football League, and so far they've been able to move around the front from the Miami Dolphins.
It's 3rd and 2, and a timeout is called by Jim Everett. Saints have already collected in total 112 total yards in this first quarter. When we resume, it's a 3rd down and 2 at the 40 with 17 seconds to go in this opening quarter. A reminder, next Saturday, 12 noon Eastern time, it'll be Clyde Drexler and the 2-time defending champion Houston Rockets taking on the world in the McDonald's Championship. From London for the first time, the NBA championship team will compete with league champs from around the globe. That'll be next Saturday from London, right here on NBC.
Your thoughts on Akeem the Dream not there and the injured back?
I know Akeem did make a publicity trip a couple of weeks ago, but certainly a shame that we will not see the Dream in action. He'll be sitting it out for a good portion of preseason, but for me, an opportunity to spend quality time with the likes of Matt Guokas and Steve Jones. So I'm very happy.
And I won't see you for a week.
That's right. Yes. That's not what I'm doing. All right, a 3rd down and 2 as Derek Brown gets the call once again, and he's turned back. Michael Stewart, the strong safety, making the stop.
And Michael Stewart coming back after getting knocked out of the game and making a huge play there.
So that will do it for this first quarter, with the Saints leading the Dolphins 7-0.
When Subway asked us, Bucky and Vinny, to review their authentic steak and cheese sandwich, we went to the steak and cheese capital of the world, Philadelphia.
Hey, this is where they filmed my favorite movie.
How about a great steak and cheese? Hey, champ, steak and cheese, please.
This is very good, this is. Like it, huh?
This is the real McCoy. Tender, juicy steak with loads of melted cheese, all on fresh baked bread.
We have a winner.
Subway.
What a sandwich.
One of these hammers is jacketed in high-impact polycarbonate. The other one is broken. The fiberglass jacketed hammer from Stanley.
The issue is breakdowns. Odds are your car will have one. But you don't have to be left stranded. Liberty Mutual Auto Insurance customers get membership in its roadside assistance program. One call and help's on the way. Anywhere, anytime. Let's hope you never need it. Liberty Mutual, facing the issues that face our customers.
I got it! Tap the Rockies! Cruise Light! Tap the Rockies! Cruise Light! Hey!
Coors Light, the silver bullet. It's shipped cold to tap the clean taste of the Rockies.
Tap the Rockies! Cruise Light!
Welcome back to the Superdome in New Orleans. Marv Albert with Chris Collinsworth as we head to the second quarter. 7-0. Saints with the lead. A critical fumble by Terry Kirby leading to the early score. Mario Bates taking it in from 1 yard away in the opening minutes for the 7-0 lead. And now Klaus Wilmsmeyer will punt for the first time for the Saints on this 4th down and 3. And a fake! And he completes the pass. The punter Wilmsmeyer for Anthony Newman, a backup safety for an 18-yard pass play on a fake punt.
Why not if you're Jim Mora? You're 0-5, the fans are down on you. Take your shot. And it was interesting, Wilmsmeyer was over on the sideline, and he was kicking his leg up in the air and sort of putting on a show like, well, I'm getting ready to punt this thing. And just as cool as he could be, a very easy throw. How about that? The Saints with a sign of life.
First down of the 23. Anthony Newman on the reception. He's an 8-year man out of Oregon, backup safety. We're checking to see if that is his first NFL reception.
All of a sudden, the Saints crowd starting to have a little fun.
Now Michael Haynes, flank to the right. Long deep back. Eric Brown. And Everett stepping up, throwing for the end zone. Touchdown! Michael Haynes with his 3rd touchdown of the season. A 23-yard pass play. He beat Troy Vincent.
And they wouldn't let him dance. Michael wanted to dance at the end of that play, and he just got mobbed by his teammates. But you got the best going against the best. Michael Haynes with all that great speed. And Jim Everett telling us yesterday that here's a guy that has finally become a complete wide receiver. That when he came here from the Falcons, he knew 2 patterns. He knew how to run a hook, and he knew how to run a go. And that time he just ran right by Troy Vincent. Vincent beat it for a touchdown last week as well.
Chip Lomella. A fake once again against the Dolphins, going for the 2, and he cannot make his way. This time stopped by Troy Vincent. Well, Jim Moore figuring, let's see, they'll never think we're going to try another fake after fake punt.
Well, Wilmsmeyer needs to stay in the pocket. He's not very effective on the rollout.
Wilmsmeyer once again trying to pick up the points.
Blah, 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 blah.
This is what I hate about car advertising. I want a car that doesn't need hype. One with a little elbow room. And safety. Show me standard dual airbags.
Anti-lock brakes!
Give me a powerful, efficient engine.
I can figure out it's smart if you tell me it's well made and it's gonna last.
Tell me a car like this exists, please.
The 1996 Toyota Tercel.
Ah, somebody was listening.
Presenting the ultimate tire for your 4x4, the Michelin LTX. Michelin technology gives it a smooth, quiet ride. Yet it's tough enough, Michelin enough to get you through anything.
That'll be $6.
Harry.
Yeah?
How come you're charging me for the hot dogs?
The 52-inch Magnabox big screen TV with smart screen and a picture so good you can charge for the hot dogs. Smart. Very smart. Now get a pair of wireless speakers free when you purchase a Magnabox big screen TV.
You're my agent. You have to do something about this. My face is on the cup with a duck. Well, I'm allergic to ducks. But what about Bugs Bunny? He's cool. What? Emmitt Smith has bugs? He's just a running back.
Now at McDonald's, get a free Looney Plays to Go Cup when you supersize any extra value meal. The NFL's Emmitt Smith with Bugs, Barry Sanders with Taz, Bledsoe with Wiley, and Marino with Daffy on new To Go Cups.
How'd I get on a McDonald's cup with Marino? Some agent. I'm allergic to dolphins.
Have you had your break today?
Pin the blame right here on Gene Atkins, the safety. Troy Vincent expecting help on the play. Watch, as soon as the ball sails over his head, he looks back inside and said, Gene, where were you? Troy Vincent just responsible for the flat on that side, expecting safety help, and when Atkins jumped on the tight end down the middle, that's what led to the easy touchdown.
Now the kick returned by Irving Spikes. He's taken down as he crossed the 20-yard line, an 18-yard return. Incidentally, that reception by the backup safety man Anthony Newman on the pass from the punter Klaus Wilmsmeyer, his first in the NFL. And looking back at the extra point attempt, the snap was botched, so Wilmsmeyer had no choice, and he tried to run it in. That was not more chicanery out of the Jim Moore playbook. He had no choice there.
And more face time for Wilmsmeyer than he's probably had in his whole career. But now it's time for Tom Olivadotti, that defense, to get moving. And you can see the discussion going on with Gene Atkins, who was probably at fault on that touchdown.
The Dolphins in a hole. They're trailing 13-0 with a minute and a half gone by in the second quarter. The pitch. Parmalee. Trying to get a bit more push on that right side, but Richard Harvey was there to make the stop along with Winfred Tubbs. So it is a short advance.
And exactly where have the Miami Dolphins gone now? They checked out at halftime last week against the Colts, and they haven't been seen since.
Well, 7 rushes, 12 yards against a team that has not been able to stop the run.
That's amazing. You're talking about a team that hasn't run the football all season long and running up and down.
Those are throwing on the run for Parmalee. Parmalee finding the room. Nice pickup by Murray Parmalee for a first down. He went for 15. He was tackled by Wayne Martin.
Well set up here. They were able to get their offensive linemen out in front of the play, and Bernie did a good job disguising this thing. Anytime you get the 2 lead blockers out front, just to hold it to a 10, 15-yard game, not bad for the Saints defense.
Bernie Parmalee had some fumble problems at the start of the year. Terry Kirby has been the starter. We've seen quite a bit though of Parmalee. Kirby with that critical fumble in the early moments here. Play action. Good fake by Kozar. Lines it up and completes a hard hit on Gary Clark, who was able to hold on for the first down. The free safety, Vince Buck, the man who made the contact, and that's an 18-yard pass play.
And at the beginning of the play, Sean Lumpkin, the safety, came up into an 8-man front, and that's the reason Clark was so wide open. But then, Buck with a tremendous hit. Impressive that Clark just able to hold on to this one. Helmet-to-helmet contact.
And Kozar, 7 of 8, 97 yards. Has a first down at the New Orleans 45. Pomeroy makes the turn. Did not have much running room. Run out by the outside linebacker, Richard Harvey. Miami Dolphins with a record of 4-1. Wins over the Jets, New England, Pittsburgh, and Cincinnati. Mentioned the overtime loss last week to the Colts. Next Sunday they play the Jets at the Jersey Meadowlands, and then home for Buffalo, at San Diego, back home for New England and San Francisco. Some tough matchups coming up for the Patriots, and the question is, when will Dan Marino return? I know you talked with him prior to the game.
I'll get to it just right after this play.
It's a 2nd down and 3 at the 38-yard line. Kozar has the first down with the tight end Eric Green stopped by Winfred Tubbs.
And first of all, good to see Eric Green catch a ball. He's been struggling the last couple of weeks. But I talked to Dan Marino just before the ball game, and he said that he just now has had a drain, a tube taken out of his hip. Really, the hip has been the bigger problem. He really couldn't pick his leg up much more than having his thigh parallel with the ground. He says his knee feels great. He's really happy that with the progress of his knee. The question now, the hip, he said he'll go into next week, and he's hoping to play in the ball game next week.
And a first down at the Saints 31. Kozar getting the time again, looking for Green. He has him. And he's in for the touchdown. Eric Green was untouched, so was able to roll into the end zone. It's a 31-yard touchdown pass play.
And Eric Green, who has dropped at least 4 balls the last couple of weeks, making the nice play here, but you can see him just wanting to cradle it. And the Dolphins' problems thus far in this ball game, you can talk about the defense or the running game or whatever, but Bernie Kozar has been sensational in relief to this point.
And the offensive line has played extremely well. Bernie getting the time. Kozar 9 of 10, 135 yards. And now 1 touchdown in his first start in almost 2 years. Stoyanovich puts it through. 9:59 to go in this first half. The Saints with a 13-7 lead on the Dolphins.
Mi amor, parece diferente esta noche.
Que no terminé de tipear el informe mensual de marketing. Es un plomo y me están presionando.
No te lo puedo creer. ¿Todavía no has oído hablar del nuevo software de reconocimiento de voz de IBM? Vos simplemente le hablas y te lo escribe automáticamente.
Estoy anonadada.
If you were to take every honor, every award, everything positive that's been said about the Toyota Camry, and lay them end to end, you'd probably ask yourself, why did I do that? Better to drive one yourself and come up with a few accolades of your own. The 1996 Camry, the gold standard from Toyota.
Yeah, you've seen it all. Done it all. Pretty much got it all figured out. But have you got what it takes to be a mountain man? All it takes are the 2 cool beers of the Mountain Man. Smooth Busch beer, easy drinking Busch Light. So, be a mountain man. All you gotta do is head for the mountains.
The NFL on NBC is brought to you by Toyota Camry, the gold standard. By Subway, now that's a sandwich. By Smooth Busch Beer and easy drinking Busch Light. And by IBM, solutions for a small planet.
A very sharp start for the backup quarterback, Bernie Kozar, playing for the injured Dan Marino. 9 of 10, 135 yards, just threw for a touchdown. Miami down 13-0. That represented the most that Miami has trailed by all season, a margin of 13 points, but now 13-7 Saints. And the kickoff for Tyrone Hughes, who is second in kick returns in the NFC. Here's Hughes, unable to find the room. Gets out to the 23-yard line.
Let's go back to the touchdown now. The fault of Vince Buck. He's going to try and help over here on Irving Fryer, but Eric Green, clearly his responsibility right down the middle of the field. Sean Lumpkin not responsible for the tight end. They just caught Vince Buck leaning the other way and paying attention to Irving Fryer. Lumpkin almost made the play anyway.
Eric Green with his second touchdown reception of the season as the Dolphins check out the injured player. We'll take a break.
It's Gus's Guide to the Game. Going deep. The most exciting part of the game.
Begin with the right call.
Yes. Ultimate deep dish. Then the technique.
Notice how I extend the thumb and forefinger, palm outstretched, to support the massive weight of the ultimate deep dish.
The man is a pro. Want to win the ultimate pregame party weekend in New York? Send us a video of your pregame rituals. We'll judge them, and you might. Call 1-800-391-3993 for contest details.
Okay, now don't get Grandma too excited.
That's right, your poor dear is probably a bit weak. She has been running on the same Duracell battery since the Ice Age.
Those Duracell batteries sure do last. You can't top the copper top.
It has dominated the field. And now Toyota's newest 4x4, Tacoma, has arrived. Only it's stronger. Tacoma's impressively powerful new 190 horsepower V6 outguns the leading competitor's best. It's tougher, out here where toughness counts. And with its class-leading ground clearance, Tacoma runs free. Toyota Tacoma, the arrival of the fittest.
Last night, the Indians tied the series. Now, Earl Hershiser takes the mound against Ken Griffey Jr. and the Mariners in the pivotal Game 5, tonight on NBC.
Calvin Jackson, the injured player, trying to make the tackle on the kick return, working on the lower part of his leg, and it doesn't really look like a knee. It doesn't look like an ankle. In between the tibia, the fibula, in there, those bones, and seem to be the area of concern.
Calvin, a first-year man out of Auburn, backup defensive back and a special teams guy. Well, coming up after the Dolphins and the Saints, Game 5 of the League Championship Series. Mariners and Indians take the field in Cleveland, all tied at 2. Oral Hershiser will go against Chris Bosio. That'll be Game 5. Following football, Chris, do you know that on this day, October 15th, back in 1988, it was Game 1 of the World Series, the Oakland A's and the LA Dodgers, the game that saw Kirk Gibson in electrifying fashion connect for the home run against Dennis Eckersley to beat the A's. What a great moment that was.
I remember it well, but I still think the Reds are going to come back.
Yes. This season.
Eventually. Davey Johnson won't come back, but my hopes.
First down at the 23-yard line for the New Orleans Saints, who lead the Dolphins 13-7. Off the pitch, Derek Brown out across the 25, and a flag is thrown. Dwight Hollier made the stop on Brown, getting the playing time because of the ankle injury suffered by Mario Bates. And the hold against the Saints.
So far offensively, the Saints have been sharp, though. They had a 2-play touchdown drive after the fumble by Kirby to open the games, and there's Bates. Charles trying to work off that ankle injury. Come right back with a 7-play missed field goal drive and a 7-play drive for a touchdown.
Holding, number 62, offense. Still first down.
Well, that's the former Miami Dolphin, Jeff Ulenik, the starting center for the Saints. Call for the hold.
The center on the play, see if we can pick up the hold. No. Didn't see it.
It is a 1st and 20 for the Saints. And now Miami calls for time. 9:29 to go. First half.
The most affordable Lexus now comes with a moonroof. 6-disc CD auto changer. Leather-trimmed seats. And chrome wheels worthy of a Lexus. And with a savings of up to $2,000, you'll laugh all the way to the bank. The ES 300 Luxury Value Package. Available while they last at your Lexus dealer.
What takes business presentations to a whole new level? The Intel Pentium processor. It gives your notebook the power to make PC software come alive. With video and graphics that help your presentations speak for themselves. The Intel Pentium processor.
Light, the silver bullet. It's shipped cold to preserve the clean taste of the Rockies.
Tap the Rockies!
The first of its kind, the best of its kind. Unsolved Mysteries returns this Friday with the stories that fascinate. On the season premiere, actor Brandon Lee, killed by accident or the ancient curse that took his father.
Like father, like son.
The season premiere of Unsolved Mysteries, Friday on NBC.
Well, some members of the band listening to the first half comments of Chris Collinsworth.
Saints fever, catch it.
And the band played on.
I love football.
All right, 9:29 left in this first half, and the Saints with a 13-7 lead on Miami. Off the draw, Eric Brown is stopped. Jeff Cross from his left defensive end making the tackle. Jeff Cross with some strong comments during the course of the week, complaining about some of the defensive adjustments or lack of adjustments last week in the second half by the Dolphins against the Colts.
And Tom Olivadotti, he thought Olivadotti went too cautious in that second half. I went back and watched the tape, though, and really they were blitzing people quite a bit. Only rushed 3 one time, and he said Olivadotti said Jeff Cross, and just a little frustrated, I guess.
Off the 2nd and 12, the completion to Quinn Early, the free safety. Gene Atkins on the stop early with his 3rd reception, but it is short of a first down.
This has been a nice combination. I don't think there's any question now that they're trying to work a little bit on J.B. Brown. All the slant patterns, all the underneath stuff have come to J.B. Brown's side, and Troy Vincent apparently beat on the touchdown, but really was not. If you're going to work on one side, probably more to J.B. Brown's side than Troy Vincent's.
Everett looking at a 3rd down and 4 from the shotgun, throwing, and it is incomplete through the hands of Torrance Small. He was covered by Terrell Buckley.
And Terrell Buckley was such a tough week last week, giving up 2 touchdown passes. And Tom Olivadotti telling us we're watching Terrell Buckley in this one. He struggled, and really that play could have been made. Buckley didn't get a hand on it, and for Jim Everett, yet another trip to the sideline. Just not able to maintain the drives here in New Orleans.
And the very active punter, Klaus Wilsmeyer, I believe Chris will punt this one away. Odds are. Back from his 14-yard line, O.J. McDuffie is back. And a beauty. Fair catch for McDuffie out of the 41. Got the hang time, goes for only 30, but prevented the run back.
They should let him throw.
Yes. So 8:05 remaining in this first half. A look ahead next Sunday. NBC Sports presents another NFL doubleheader starting 12:30 Eastern Time with the NFL on NBC. in our early games. Most of you will see the Oilers visit Soldier Field going up against the Chicago Bears. Some of you will see the same Dolphins take on the Jets. Others will catch the Browns in Jacksonville in the late matchups, the Broncos and the Chiefs, or the hot Indianapolis Colts visiting the Raiders in Oakland. The Colts coming off the win over the 49ers earlier today. Play action for Kozar, and it is intercepted, picked off by Tubbs. The middle linebacker, Winfred Tubbs, with his first pick of the season. He was tackled by the center, Tim Ruddy.
Bernie Kozar with the second best career interception percentage in NFL history. Only Jeff Hostetler better, and this just a horrid throw. He tried to lob it in over the top, was off balance, leaning away from the throw, and just a very un-Bernie-like throw. That's one where just got away. Don't know.
Tubbs, a guy had missed 3 games with a pulled calf muscle, returned to the starting lineup 2 weeks ago against the Eagles and had a terrific game, a game-high 17 tackles. Saints get it back. Brown on the pass from Everett, and he is gang tackled. Brian Cox, Chris Singleton among those to get to Derek Brown, who is very much part of the game plan.
And now all of a sudden, this Saints offense, they're getting chances in this game that they haven't had all season. Typically, they're starting from their own 20-yard line. They're having to go 80 yards. Jim Mora talked about it. So we have to shorten the field for our offense. We have to get some turnovers, get off the field defensively, and so far the Dolphins have made it very easy.
That was only the Saints' 4th interception of the season. They have a second down at 7 at the Miami 41-yard line. The darting Derek Brown. White Collier on the stop. He is short of a first down. It'll bring up a 3rd and about 2.
Jim Dombrowski leading the way up front, and Jim Everett telling us that he was probably the most underrated offensive lineman in football. Of course, Willie Rofe, who plays right next to him, the guy that gets all the attention. But Jim Dombrowski, as you can see there, lines up and plays every single Sunday.
That dates back to 1987. Everett looking to the far side, has the tight end Wesley Walls. And a first down. Wesley Walls with his first catch of the day, number 21 on the season, covered by Michael Stewart, but the Saints with another first down.
And right now, Jim Everett and the Saints are doing the same thing that Jim Harbaugh did in the second half last week. They've got their 3 wide receivers in the ball game. They're spreading out. They've brought Terrell Buckley in. You want to see Buckley. They want to bring Frankie Smith into the ball game. Now maybe a weakness showing up in this Miami defense, the spread offense, giving them problems.
Saints first down at the Dolphin 30-yard line as we come up on 6 minutes to go in the half. Brown gets the call, trying to make the turn, and he is gang tackled. Stewart and Atkins leading the way. He ran into a wall of Dolphins.
And Don Shula telling us yesterday that he was concerned about this game because you've got a team 0-5. They're coming in here. They've had a week off to get healthy, a week off to think about it. And Mario Bates, the running back, said it was embarrassing. We had a week off. We all went home. Everybody spent a little time with their family. He said, I never left the house. I was embarrassed. I didn't want to go out, didn't want to see my friends. We're 0-5. We're terrible. And Shula knew those kinds of emotions were working in the Saint football team.
Saints have a second down and 9 at the Dolphin 29. Play action. Everett overthrows the pass intended for the fullback, Lorenzo Neal. It sets a 3rd and 9.
Wow, that thing had a shot. Lorenzo Neal out there by himself. Brian Cox tried to get back into the play, but Everett just unable to get his body flipped around to make that throw, but a real opportunity missed for the Saints.
3rd down and 9 at the 29-yard line. And now New Orleans takes a timeout. 5:19 remaining in this first half. Jim Everett, 4 years ago, took the Rams to the NFC Championship game and seemed to lose his confidence. He's played well this season, although he had a so-so game against the Eagles 2 weeks ago, bothered by a sprained ankle.
You know, and the interesting thing about Jim Everett, he said that when I signed with the Saints, they had the 4th-rated defense, and I was thinking, good, finally, after all those years with the Rams, I come over here, have a good defense, won't have all the pressure on me to score points, and as soon as he gets here, this defense starts to fall apart. He has never played with a defensive unit that was ranked higher than 19th in the National Football League. I mean, just odds alone say that you've got to have a defense better than that at some point. And really the struggles of this defense amazing after the way that they played defense here for the last 10 years.
Jim Morris saying that Jim Everett is a young 32, coming off the kind of season he had a year ago. Out of the shotgun, Everett with the short pitch to Derek Ned, who tried to make more out of it but lost on the play. Frank Smith on the stop.
And the pressure is starting to give Jim Everett some problems. You can see how uncomfortable Jim is back here in the pocket. The pressure getting there, getting close, and he just had to flip it out. The man coverage there. I think Tom Olivadotti, after watching those last 2 throws by Jim Everett, the tendency now is going to be bring more pressure, not less.
It is a 4th down and 15, and Chip Lohmiller has come on looking for a 52-yard field goal. This is after missing from 47. It is just short. And Lohmiller hearing it from the crowd with memories of a fellow by the name of Morton Anderson, I'm sure, pervading the stadium.
And I'm not sure that they're booing Lohmiller so much as they're booing the decision to let Morton Anderson go. And that one just could not have been any closer. He's made a 51-yarder earlier this year, but Morton Anderson, that thing, he may miss it left or right, but from 51 yards, it's going to go sailing through by about 10 or 15 yards.
Chip Lohmiller, a guy who spent 7 years with the Washington Redskins. He was a Pro Bowl player and NFC scoring leader, but following a very tough act in Morton Anderson. So the Dolphins back to the offense, and Parmalee is stopped. Israel Stanley on the stop. Back in week 3 of this season, remember, it was Morton Anderson. Now the Atlanta Falcons delivering a 21-yard field goal at the end of regulation to defeat the Saints. 27-24, an emotional homecoming for the one-time Saint kicker of some 14 seasons.
And I asked Jim Moore about the decision to let him go. He said, we just didn't feel with our problems with the salary cap that we could afford to pay our kicker that much money. We had too many other holes to fill.
2nd and 13. Goes on with the short-range flip for Parmalee. And he is stopped at the line.
Just to finish that last thought, you have to consider that a mistake, though, not signing Morton Anderson, especially when you have a team that's struggling and you're playing in close ball games. You just have to wonder what this 0-5 record might be with Morton Anderson firing those bullets from all over the field.
Lohmiller now on the season is 8 of 11, including the 2 long-range misses here this afternoon. 3rd down and 12 for the Dolphins. 3 minutes to go in this first half. The Saints 13, Miami 7. Kozar stepping up, could not find anyone. Throwing on the run. Oh, beautiful catch made by a leaping O.J. McDuffie. And again, he does it, picking up a first down. It's good for 20 yards. O.J. with 15 catches on the season. 14 now have been for first down.
Just sensational. Here's a guy, O.J. McDuffie, that grew up in the Cleveland area, said he used to enjoy watching Bernie as a kid throwing the football around and just making a super effort. And Bernie really needed that one after throwing the interception on the last drive. Who knows what would have happened to that ball. That thing was high and away, but McDuffie with a sensational catch.
First down at the New Orleans 38. Approach the 2-minute mark. Kosar to the other side, and the catch by Gary Clark caught him inbounds just short of a first down. It was covered by Tyrone Leggett.
And really, it's so difficult to defense Bernie Kosar. You know, he's got that, what O.J. McDuffie called that left-handed pickoff move, where all of a sudden, you know, he's looking straight ahead and the ball comes out and he fires it out to the right side, and defensively, you don't know where to go.
2 minutes left in this first half, and we will go to commercial.
Working to be the best. Teammates, sponsored by the U.S. Army.
One play at a time, expect to win the game. No!
The Chiefs do expect to win with new starting quarterback Steve Bono pitching passes to Willie Davis.
Quick slant, touchdown, Bono to Willie Davis.
Steve Bono and Willie Davis help make the Chiefs the best they can be.
I know there really is something about being a soldier. It started the moment I got here. The word can't vanished. This was advanced training. This was the training I came in for. My folks are proud of what I've done. I'm proud of who I am. I'm a soldier.
When Subway asked us, Bucky and Vinny, to review their authentic steak and cheese sandwich, we went to the steak and cheese capital of the world, Philadelphia.
Hey, this is where they filmed my favorite movie.
How about a great steak and cheese? Hey, champ, steak and cheese, please.
This is very good, this is. Like it, huh?
This is the real McCoy. Tender, juicy steak with loads of melted cheese, all on fresh baked bread.
We have a winner.
Subway, what a sandwich.
Next Sunday at 12:30 Eastern, an NFL on NBC doubleheader. First, the Chicago Bears host the Houston Oilers, or the Dolphins take on the Jets. Then it's an AFC Wild West matchup when Steve Bono and the Chiefs battle John Elway and the Broncos, or regional action. The NFL on NBC, made in America, played in America, next Sunday.
This Dolphin drive set up by the catch from O.J. McDuffie. Really, this is a tough ball, especially over the middle, because you know those safeties are somewhere close.
Second down and 2 for Miami at the New Orleans 30-yard line. McDuffie, 81 in motion. The pitch for Plumlee, but it goes to Kosar, and Byers on the reception. That did not fool the Saints, but they did pick up the first down. Winford Tubbs on the stop off the flea flicker by Miami.
Interesting way to gain 5 yards. They go with the flea flicker, and it really was never there. The safety's not fooled even a little bit, and heads-up play by Bernie Kosar, not taking the chance, knowing that he had short yardage, but a good call on second down and very short, just to take your shot for the quick score.
And a first down at the 23. Kosar now 13 of 15, 173 yards. Kosar first look deep, then goes short range and completes to Irving Fryer, who has a first down. Run out by the outside linebacker Richard Harvey. That's good for 13 for Fryer, his third catch of the day.
And here's the classic Bernie Kosar looking around the field. Now as a defensive back, you have no idea, because he can look you right in the eye and throw it the other way. Boom. I mean, really, you're taught as a defensive back to sit back there, read the quarterback's eyes, and it does you no good whatsoever with Bernie Kosar. Our defensive backs in Cincinnati used to hate playing against that guy. You had no idea where the ball was coming.
And Kosar now 5 of 5 on this drive. First down from the 11. The play action. Nice catch by Keith Byers, reaching behind him, and then bumped out of bounds by the right corner, Eric Allen.
I mean, really, why use use excess energy if you don't have to. Just sort of, just reach back. And, I mean, he didn't even turn around. I only need one. That's terrific. Terrific hands. A guy that closing in over 500 catches in his career, and he doesn't need two hands.
And that was number 499. His 499th career catch. Probably surging. No indication.
Ooh, that looked, wow.
No indication of the touchdown. It is placed just short of the goal line.
Let's see whether or not the ball lands on the goal line. Remember, you just have to break the plane. And I think that's a good call by the official. His head over the line, but the football has to be somewhere in the weight.
And a timeout is taken. 26 seconds left in this first half. Looming large, that missed extra point attempt by the Saints as they hold a 6-point lead. And a good first half for Bernie Kosar. Ninth play of the drive is coming up. A drive that has seen Bernie complete 6 of 6. Coming up, the Domino's Pizza NFL on NBC halftime report. Greg Gumbel, Mike Ditka, Bob Trumpy. Bob in the studio today, bringing you all the scores and highlights of today's action around the league. The hard-working Greg Gumbel doing a little baseball last night, making the early flight, back in the studio today.
Earning those big bucks of his.
Bernie Kosar, 15 of 17 for 193 yards, 1 touchdown and 1 interception. 26 seconds to go in the half. Dolphins go double tight end. Ronnie Williams along with Eric Green. Here's Kosar on the roll. This time not able to connect with Byers.
There wasn't anyone within 5 to 7 yards of Byers. He could have just thrown up a this was overthrown by Bernie Kosar, and there is nobody even close. It didn't have to be that good. Just throw it up in the air. There's nobody in that whole quarter of the field. Big miss there from Bernie.
It'll be a 2nd and goal inside the 1. Milner, offensive tackle, is an eligible receiver on this play. And finally a stop. Winfred Tubbs coming up to make the hit. Clock is stopped. Miami taking time with 16 seconds remaining in the half.
And that miss by Bernie Kosar looming larger now as they face a 3rd down with no timeouts remaining. Winfred Tubbs shooting the gap. Looked like Ruddy overshot him on the play, thinking he had to reach around the outside, reach too far, and Tubbs, using the good speed, ducked back inside to make the hit.
6 tackles and an interception for Tubbs in this first half.
Obviously, the options now limited for Don Shula and Bernie Kosar. You can't afford to run the football here because if you get stopped, you won't have time to get set for the field goal. So you have to throw it because of the lack of mobility from Bernie Kosar. You don't really have the option to roll out and put pressure on the corner. Watch for Byers.
Miami with 1 timeout remaining. Byers in motion. Kosar couldn't find anyone. He heaves it away. Good play by Kosar. However, Miami will have to settle for a field goal.
And I'm sure Don Shula's heart skipped a beat there. A sack, obviously you get nothing out of this drive. And fortunately for Bernie Kosar, they had him around the legs, but his arm was free and he was able to get that thing out of there. Very, very close to being a sack.
So a 20-yard attempt for Stoyanovich, who has missed his last 3 going back to last week. High snap. And Stoyanovich able to put it through.
Bernie wanting to take as long as he possibly could on this play to try and find a receiver, but obviously You cannot take the set. Very, very lucky to get that ball out of there. Bernie should have gotten rid of that one much sooner than that. Phew, close. Very, very close. Fortunate for the Miami Dolphins to get 3 points out of that.
20-yard field goal by Stojanovic, who had missed earlier from 54 yards away. And the Saints now lead it 13-10 with 7 seconds remaining in the half.
And that had to feel good for Stojanovic to get some of the pressure off of him. And for Jim Mora, I'm sure he's happy to see his football team going in at the half with the lead. But really, it could have been much better than what it is if they had made a couple of their field goals.
Jim Mora telling us Friday he has never been 0-5 prior to this season, even as an assistant coach. But he says he will not let it overwhelm him.
And I asked him about the goodwill that he's built up, because really the Saints were terrible before he got here, and he's had great success as their head coach, but they have been falling off very steadily here in the last couple of years. And he said the biggest reason that our defense just got old together, and then with the free agency and the salary cap, we were $12 million over the salary cap, had to let some very good football players go, and he admits it's a rebuilding process. And as far as the goodwill, I said, you think you've built up enough goodwill to save you through the rest of the season? He said, I don't know.
It's unbelievable, as you just saw recently as 1992. They were 12-4, one of the better teams in the NFL, thanks to that very strong linebacking core. Put on the ground and handled by one of the Upman Wesley Walls. And he is immediately hit by Frankie Smith as this first half comes to a close. So that is the end of the half. The Saints with a 13-10 lead on the Dolphins. Perhaps there is time on the clock. Both teams were headed off, and now they're being called back. 2 seconds to go in the half, so they will run off one play, or will sit on the ball for one play.
Sort of an interesting choice here for Jim Mora. You've got the lead and may not want to take too many chances, but good field position here. Not that risky to throw one down the field.
Domino's halftime report in just a moment. A look at all the scores and highlights of the early games. Some good games early. The big one, the San Francisco 49ers beaten by the Indianapolis Colts. You hear the reaction from the crowd because they will just run it out. So first half that saw Miami throw for 193 yards with Bernie Kosar, but held to only 16 yards on the ground. Right now, let's go to Greg Gumbel at our New York studio.
This is the Domino's Pizza NFL on NBC halftime report. Brought to you by Domino's Pizza. When it's gotta be great and it's gotta be now, it's gotta be Domino's.
All right, Marv, thank you. Welcome, everyone. Along with Mike Ditka and Bob Trumpy, I'm Greg Gumbel. Here are the scores and highlights of the late games. The game that you're watching, the New Orleans Saints by 3 over the Miami Dolphins at halftime, 13-10. Bernie Kosar starting for the injured Dan Marino today from Miami, and put up some pretty good numbers today so far. 15 of 19, 193 yards. In fact, Trump, you said, gee, look at those numbers.
Yeah, I think that's very impressive for Bernie Kosar. He's been pressured a little bit, but 15 and 19 for Bernie Kosar. He hasn't started in a lot of games since the middle of last season, so I like that performance by Bernie Kosar.
Meanwhile, Mike, the New Orleans Saints are due, are they not? They've played some close games.
Well, I think they're playing hard for Jim Mora. I think they like Jim Mora. They respect him. They know he's a good coach. They want to win one for him. The other thing right now in this game, the Dolphins right now cannot run the football. That's why Bernie's got to throw it.
All right, gents, 13-10 New Orleans at halftime. In San Diego, Gail Gilbert getting the start for the Chargers in place of Stan Humphries with the injured shoulder. The Cowboys lead at 14-2. Emmitt Smith has rushed for 2 touchdowns. At Carolina, the Jets are leading Carolina by a score of 12-3 as they approach halftime. Rich Kotite and the Jets hoping to avoid a 4-game losing streak. Brian Hansen's punt blocked by Bubba McDowell. Dwight Stone recovers on the Jets' 6-yard line. It led to a John Casey 23-yard field goal and a 3-0 Panthers lead. Second quarter on the play-action fake. Kerry Collins sacked by Eric Howard for a Jets safety, 3-2. It was 5-3 Jets when Collins was picked off by Mo Lewis. He returns 15 yards for a touchdown. 12-3 Jets. That's where they stand now, about a minute and a half to play in the first half. And in Arizona, the Cardinals hosting the Redskins. Washington and the Cardinals are tied at 10 as they approach the break. Up next, we'll bring you scores and highlights of the early games in the NFL. That's right after these words from your local station.
Someone obsessed with fire, the idea of fire, the image of fire.
You better call homicide.
He's dead, isn't he? I know you found a body.
Half the city is burning down and we've gotten nowhere.
Everybody saw something.
I want this case closed.
Nobody saw anything.
Friday. The wait is over. City of Flames, the season premiere of Homicide, NBC, Friday.
On any given Sunday, there's over 5,000 hits, 2,000 head cracks, and 500 body slams. But the trouble is, it's not on the football field. Violence shouldn't be a part of real life. Think about it.
And now presenting some things you simply can't live without. If you've got this, you've got to get that. And if you've got one of these, you've got to get one of those. And what good is this without that? So if you've got one of these, you've got to get the Showtime Premium Pack. Talk about exciting. 3 different networks on 6 separate channels with exclusive programming you won't find anywhere else. So once again, if you don't have these, what's the point of having this? Now for a limited time, save $77. Call 1-800-950-8400.
This is NFL Sunday Ticket.
This is the Domino's Pizza NFL on NBC Halftime Report. Brought to you by Domino's Pizza. When it's gotta be great and it's gotta be now, it's gotta be Domino's.
Welcome back, everyone. Let's get caught up on the early games played today, beginning with the big upset in Indianapolis as the Colts played giant killer once again, knocking off the San Francisco 49ers by a score of 18-17. 49er quarterback Steve Young playing despite having the flu today. It was 7-6 Niners. Near the end of the first half, 49ers no more timeouts. They set up for a field goal, but a whistle stops the clock with 2 seconds to play. The Niners bring back the offense. 4th and goal from the 2. Running back Derek Lovell is stopped short of the goal line. Jason Belzer with the big hit. And the Colts go to the locker room trailing by 1. In the third, momentum for the Colts. Harbaugh to Ken Dilger. 15 yards and a touchdown. Lovell straight ahead for a 4-yard run. In the third, 49ers regain the lead 14-12. 17-15 in the fourth, Kerry Blanchard 41 yards out with about 2.5 to play. Indy on top 18-17. Now, 50 seconds on the clock. Doug Bryan from 45 yards out. Looking for the win for the 49ers. It sails wide, and the Colts hold on to win it. The score is 18-17. Indianapolis improves now to 4-2. The 49ers fall to 4-2. What do we surmise about the Colts at this stage, Trump?
All I surmise is sitting here watching this game with Mike Ditka. He loves Jim Harbaugh. He loved that game. He loved the performance from beginning to end.
Let's talk about Jim Harbaugh and how he has really pulled his team together.
Well, I think they got a leader down there. I think this ball club believes in Jim Harbaugh. I think the coaching staff believes in him. You know, he doesn't do everything by the book, and he's not the prettiest at all times, but I tell you what, there's no finer competitor in the league than this kid. He'll give you everything he's got, and he's learned a lot about the game in the last couple of years. They've done a good job with him down there. He's not running with the ball as much, and when he does run, he runs the pass instead of running. So he's got a lot better.
And do not underestimate the Indianapolis Colts. Look at what they've done the last couple of weeks. Back in Week 5, the Rams were undefeated then. The Colts knocked them off 21-18. Then they came back to beat the Dolphins in overtime and end their unbeaten string. They beat the 49ers today, and then next week, Sunday, 4 o'clock Eastern time here on NBC, they will meet the Oakland Raiders. Arrowhead Stadium.
It stops there.
Come on.
It stops there.
Arrowhead Stadium in Kansas City today. The Chiefs over the New England Patriots, 31-26 the final score. Joe Montana, no wonder he's not here. He's there, making his first return to Arrowhead since his retirement. Drew Bledsoe to Dave Meggett, up the middle, 16 yards and a touchdown. Patriots lead 7-3. That was the score in the second when Steve Bono fakes to Marcus Allen, rolls right, Wide open, 2-yard run into the end zone. The second rushing touchdown of the year. Chiefs up 10-7. Bono, his second TD pass of the game. 26 yards to Tamarik Vanover. Chiefs led 24-10 at halftime. Bledsoe finally broke through in the touchdown pass department through 2 of them today. This one 22 yards to Vincent Brisby. Chiefs led 24-19, and Kansas City, looking for some breathing room, found it. Greg Hill up the middle, 9 yards and a touchdown. It was 31-19. They held on to win it by a score of 31-26. Bledsoe, 238, 2 touchdowns and an interception. Steve Bono, just 16 of 40 for 210 and 2 touchdowns. In the pregame, we talked about the woes of the New England Patriots. They're still there, but are they there as much?
I think there's something to take for New England out of this game. Kansas City scores on 2 straight pass receptions at the end of the first half. New England down 24-10. New England stayed in the game. They kept working. At least Bill Parcells has something to say. Gentlemen, this is the way we could play every week, the second half of this game.
And Mike, meanwhile, I think we can say the Kansas City Chiefs are now Steve Bono's team.
Well, I don't think there's any question about that. I mean, he knows this offense, and he seems to be very comfortable with this offense. He didn't have big numbers today, but again, they got the job done. And I think that's the main thing. And what Bob said is true, but New England needs a win. I mean, forget about playing good coming back. They need a win badly.
Patriots fall to 1-5. The Chiefs improve to 6-1. In Buffalo, the Bills move on. They beat Seattle by a score of 27-21. Andre Reed sidelined for a few weeks with a hamstring injury. 17-7 Bills in the third. 2 Seattle turnovers led to 2 touchdown passes. Jim Kelly to Bill Brooks. Look at Brooks with the one-handed grab. 30-yarder, 24-7 Buffalo. Seattle's passing game ineffective most of the day, but this is a nice one. Rick Meyer to Joey Galloway, and watch him go off to the races. 54 yards. That closes the gap to 24-14. It was 27-14 in the fourth. Seattle making a run for it. Chris Warren, his second touchdown of the afternoon. 4 yards. Seahawks to within 6. 27-21. Clock winding down. Meyer with the Hail Mary pass intended for Galloway, but it's intercepted by Thomas Smith. The Bills hold on to win and improve to 5-1. 27-21 is the final score. The Seahawks fall to 2-4. In Green Bay, the Packers over the Lions 30-21. In Tampa, the Bucks 20. Minnesota 17 in overtime. 16 years since the Bucks have been in first place all by themselves this late into the season. Warren Moon, plenty of time here, completes to Amp Lee, but watch the hit by Hardy Nickerson. The fumble picked up by Martin Mayhew, off to the races. 78 yards and a touchdown and a 14-3 Tampa Bay lead. The Bucks leading the NFL with 20 takeaways. 17-6 in the fourth. Here comes the Minnesota comeback. Warren Moon pump fakes. And there's Jake Reed, open, 26 yards and a touchdown. 2-point conversion good. Minnesota cuts the lead 17-14. Tied at 17 in overtime. Michael Husted from 51 yards out wins it for Tampa Bay. The Bucks are 5-2. The Vikings fall to 3-3. 20-17 is the final score in Tampa. At the Meadowlands, the Giants fall to 2-5. The Eagles beat New York 17-14. And in Jacksonville, the Jaguars' 2-game winning streak is snapped by the Bears 30-27. Chicago, the final score. A timeout, and then our NFL on NBC halftime activities continue.
An underwater super train has become a high-velocity nightmare.
You've been sabotaged, and we're not slowing down.
All new Sequest 2032, NBC Wednesday. They've heard the facts.
He killed a cop.
They've seen the evidence.
He had 6 holes in him.
But if one man's fate...
Welcome back to the Superdome in New Orleans. Marv Albert with Chris Collinsworth. The Saints involved in another close game, leading Miami 13-10 as we head to the second half. Check of the Coors Light halftime stats. The number that really pops up, rushing yards by Miami, only 16 against the team that is ranked 29th in the NFL against the run.
And Marv, really amazing. Bernie Parmalee, 1.6 yards per carry. Terry Kirby, 1.5 yards per carry. Keith Byers, 2 yards per carry. So they have done a job and put the burden on Bernie Kosar to beat them in this football game.
And a look at the 2 quarterbacks. A very sharp first half for both. 15 of 19 for Kosar, 193 yards. Everett, 9 of 12, 97 yards.
You know, the one big miss for Bernie Kosar was the one to Byers in the end zone, though, with really nobody around him.
Stoyanovich will kick it away to the dangerous Tyrone Hughes. Hughes in his 3rd year out of Nebraska. Starts from his 5. Out to the 20. Has the opening. Stoyanovich is back. He raced by Stoyanovich and is dropped as he crossed the 42. A 36-yard return. Louis Oliver back to make the stop.
And Hughes has been doing this all season. They haven't been getting it done on the punt returns, but the kickoff return team for the Saints, very special. And it's giving this Saints offense a chance now. Their average starting drive in this ball game has been the 41. They have not been anywhere close to that throughout the entire season. Great way for the Saints to open this second half.
Orleans from their 43-yard line. Start off with the running play. Derek Brown, who has seen quite a bit of action. Mario Bates got off to the fast start, went down with a sprained ankle. No word as of yet as to whether he is definitely out the rest of the way. Brown has carried 8 times for 24 yards.
And Brian Cox doing a nice job of avoiding the blocker right in front. That was Chris Port, who was supposed to get up there on him. He made a nice little move, maybe like a wide receiver, avoiding the bump on the defensive back to come back and make the tackle.
Port and Dombrowski at the guards. Rolfe and Cooper the tackles. The center, the one-time Dolphin Ulinek. Second down and 8. Everett trying to step up and is hauled down. First sack of the day for the Dolphins. Marco Coleman, number 90, receiving credit. Make it 2.5 sacks for the season for Marco Coleman.
And for Marco Coleman, working against Willie Rofe. Rofe struggled last week in the game against Mike Mamula 2 weeks ago against Philadelphia, and that's just pure strength right there. Marco Coleman, you see why he was the number 1 pick out of Georgia Tech. Just took Willie Rofe, who's about as good as there is in this league, and drove him right back into Everett.
It's a 3rd and 13. We're just underway in the 3rd quarter. The Saints lead the Dolphins 13-10. Everett able to stand in, and a beautiful catch made in traffic by the tight end Wesley Walls, but a flag also comes flying. A 17-yard reception.
And Everett showing a lot of guts that time. He had Brian Cox coming right in his face.
Holding, number 55, defense is declined. First down.
Chris Singleton called for the hold, and it is a first down for the Saints.
This is their 4-man pass rush, their nickel package, and just an easy move around Richard Cooper, and Everett knew he was going to take the shot. And on the receiving end, Wesley Walls with a nice catch. He's been their best receiving tight end. Irv Smith more the blocker.
So a first down at the 43-yard line. Goes the other way. Irv Smith, the other tight end, and he fumbled. The loose ball covered up by the Dolphins. Dwight Collier appears to be the first to get to it. Irv Smith, in his 3rd year out of Notre Dame, noted as the blocking tight end, although he can catch the ball at 41 receptions last year. Did catch it, did run with it, and put it on the ground.
Unbelievable for this Saints team. They're doing everything right. They get the big kickoff return, moving down the field, a nice play, and then you lay the football on the ground. This is how you end up 0-5. Just the pure strip from behind J.B. Brown. I don't think that Smith ever saw him, but the beat goes on for this New Orleans football team.
Good play by the corner, J.B. Brown, on that strip. And the Dolphins, 1st and 10 from their 30-yard line. The second back coming through, Kirby. And he coughed it up for the second time today. The Saints get it back. 3rd turnover by Miami. Terry Kirby with the fumble of the early going, which led to that early New Orleans touchdown.
And Terry Kirby really has not been that comfortable running between the tackles. Remember, because of the knee injury, he didn't touch the football between the tackles at all during the course of the preseason. Said he just now is getting comfortable running with the football in a crowd. But this time the strip just coming and back-to-back plays.
Winfred Tubbs, who has had a terrific afternoon, able to recover that fumble. First down at the 30 now for New Orleans. Here's Brown. Derek Brown surging to the 25. Dropped by Tim Bowens, the left defensive tackle.
And so important now for Tom Olivedotti's bunch on defense to come out and make a stand. They get the turnover. There was a drive against them. Emotionally, you're fired up. You go over, you get a glass of water in your hand, and then Kirby runs and drops the ball right back on the ground. Very difficult in this situation to play defense.
Second down and 5 at the 25. Torrance Small is now flanked to the right side. The lone deep back is Derek Brown. Play action. Everett with the time. Everett throwing and underthrew. He had Torrance Small, but was not able to hit him.
Small limping after the play. Great protection up front. There was really the play was covered initially, but Jim Everett had so much time back there that it gave Small a chance to run all the way through the coverage. Had a play, but Small just unable to get there because of the gimp.
Small a couple of weeks ago able to score on that reverse play against the Philadelphia Eagles. 3 touchdowns in all this season for Small. Third down and 5. You hear the whistles. They blow it dead.
And then it looked like Steve Rim, his replacement at wide receiver.
Ball start, number 84, offense. Prior to the snap, still third down.
And that was Rim, who usually is a special teams player primarily. Steve Rim in his second season out of Minnesota, native of Florida.
Played in the Canadian Football League with Saskatchewan, but now they're going the wrong direction and moving dangerously close to being out of Chip Lohmiller's range.
Lohmiller has missed a couple from 47 and from 52. It's a third down and 10 at the Miami 30-yard line. It's Rem 84 in motion. Everett, sideline counter, interference called. Singleton on the coverage of Rem.
Automatic first down.
Interference on Chris Singleton.
Such a difficult situation for an outside linebacker to be matched up on a wide receiver.
55, defense, first down.
Singleton on the outside, feeling like Rim was getting away from him, so just reaches out and grabs hold. I couldn't really see the hold from that angle, but the official right there. That was third down, remember.
Instead, a first down for the Saints at the Dolphin 25-yard line. That is early in motion. Brown stacked up. And they're trying to knock the ball away. Marco Coleman made the tackle on Derek Brown. We were talking earlier, looking at this New Orleans record of 0-5. Last week, the bye week. In the previous game, they lose here at the Dome to the Eagles 15-10. One of 4 very tough losses. The one poor outing suffered by Jim Mora and the Saints. 45-29 defeat to the Giants, but they lose by 2 to San Francisco, 4 in St. Louis, and overtime to Atlanta on that field goal by Gordon Anderson, by 5 to the Eagles. Involved here in another close game. Everett throwing for the end zone. Touchdown! Diving catch by Quinn Early.
So now Terry Kirby's 2 fumbles have led to 2 touchdowns for the New Orleans Saints. Because of the rollout, it gave Early time to run all the way across the field, working one-on-one coverage against J.B. Brown, and Early just too fast. He turns on the Jets, runs away. It looked like Vincent might get back into the play, but Jim Everett just dropped it in the bucket.
5th catch of the game for 79 yards and a touchdown for Early, his 3rd TD of the season. Lohmiller, once again hits the upright. What is going on? And you can hear the reaction. So the Saints with a 19-10 lead. We'll be back in a moment.
With up to 210 horsepower, it's got power to spare. The Eclipse from Mitsubishi. See your dealer for great lease offers on all Eclipses, including turbo models.
You think in color. Your computer thinks in color. So how come everything you print comes out black and white? Black and white. The Epson Stylus color printers, starting at $349 for the kind of brilliant color that will let your ideas be heard. You've got to see it in Epson color.
Crunchy, salt, crunchy, salt.
Why are the two biggest, baddest sinners on the planet arguing over tacos when they can have this?
The new double-decker taco from Taco Bell.
That's big. What do you think?
Wait till they try this. Introducing the Nacho Cheese Double-Decker Taco. All the double-decker taste you love, now smothered in nacho cheese sauce. Just 99 cents. Only at Taco Bell.
You guys are millionaires. Buy your own. Buy your own.
The NFL on NBC is brought to you by Mitsubishi, the new thinking in automobiles. By Coors Light, shipped cold to preserve the clean taste of the Rockies. Coors Light, tap the Rockies. By United Artists GoldenEye, Bond is back this November. And by Pennzoil, the motor oil that works like liquid ball bearings.
Well, as Chip Lohmiller teed it up, getting set to kick it off, still hearing it from the crowd. Missed 2 field goals and an extra point, second extra point that he's missed this season. The kickoff taken by McDuffie. Oh, he took a shot reaching out to the 20-yard line. Tyrone Leggett getting downfield with a hard hit on O.J. McDuffie.
Couple of things to watch here. There will be no help in the middle of the field for J.B. Brown. The nice job that they do walling off the protection over here. They come with the blitz, the Miami Dolphins do, and really the perfect situation. Everett rolls out, no help in the secondary, and J.B. Brown beaten for the touchdown.
And it goes on, and the Dolphins starting out first down at the 19-yard line. Goes off for the injured Dan Marino. Saints with a 19-10 lead. 4 minutes gone by. Third quarter. Koza able to step under and has an open man, but Clark could not reach for it. Gary Clark, the master of diving catches, but that one just out of his reach. He was covered by the left corner, Jimmy Spencer.
Wow, this looked like it was going to be a huge play again. Watch Bernie look off the safety in the middle of the field and then sling this thing out to the sideline. It looked like it even had a chance to go the distance, and literally by just a couple of inches from being a huge play. Bernie has been sharp, but he's also missed a couple of key situations.
And this New Orleans Saints team has been hurt by big plays over their first 5 games this season. Second down and 10 from the 19-yard line. Goes on incomplete. Intended again for Clark, this time over the middle where he was covered by the outside linebacker Richard Harvey.
And it's really making a big difference for this Saint team to have all these linebackers back in the place where they were intended to be. Getting Winfred Tubbs back in the middle allowed Richard Harvey to go back to the outside linebacker. Harvey did not work out playing the middle linebacker. Neither did Brian Jones on this team. But now they seem much more settled, and we saw it last time against Philadelphia, and they picked up right where they left off in that game.
Look back to the big days of the Saints several years ago. You think of that linebacking group.
Exactly right.
Pat Swilling and Sam Mills and Ricky Jackson and Vaughn Johnson. Those are completing to Parmalee. Try to battle his way to the marker, but he's short of the first down. Eric Allen, Sean Lumpkin combining to make the stop.
And this is what the Saint defense has not done all season. Go 3 and out. Get that offense off the field And Sean Lumpkin that time made a huge hit at the end of that play. Just as it looked like they were going to fall forward for the first down, Lumpkin came in and drove the receiver back and kept him from that first down.
A yard and a half short of the first down, so John Kidd will punt second punt of the day with Tyrone Hughes back. And the Dolphins all over Hughes, not allowing anything. 47-yard punt. Sean Hill, the first to get to Hughes with 10 minutes left in this third quarter. We'll be right back.
Light, the silver bullet. It's shipped cold to tap the clean taste of the Rockies. Tap the Rockies! Coors Light!
You and the Mitsubishi Galant. It's bound to be a positive relationship. After all, the Galant's dependable, good-looking, and it recognizes your need for space. Now's your last opportunity to lease a 95 Galant S for $0 down and $249 a month for 36 months. And only Mitsubishi adds $500 cash back. Proof you'll also be financially compatible. But hurry, this could be your last chance at happiness. The Galant from Mitsubishi, the new thinking in automobiles.
Got the winning color.
I drive oversized loads.
And I drive the warning vehicle, the flag car.
I've been using Pennzoil for about 17 years.
Most people will trade their car with, 60,000 miles on it. We could have gone through 7 cars.
Right. Now with the revolutionary Pennstar molecule, Pennzoil clings to moving parts. Works like liquid ball bearings.
You could say it's been working overtime for us.
Engine problems? Before you try a tune-up, try Gum Out first. The solution could be less than $5.
Brian Cox made the point this week that if we're as good as everyone has said we are, we should be able to win without Dan Marino, especially against an 0-5 team. That would be true.
Last week, Dan Marino becoming the NFL's all-time leader in pass completions. Recovering from the arthroscopic surgery on his right knee, also bothered by the sore left hip. Sidelines. New Orleans first down from their 26-yard line. 5 minutes gone by in the third, and the Saints leading by 9 points. Lorenzo Neal getting the call, refusing to go down. Looked like the ball was knocked free. Miami claiming that Neal was stripped. And they're checking it out as to who has the football.
Looked like Trace Armstrong just reached in there and got in a wrestling match with Lorenzo Neal, and the officials haven't made any sort of a signal yet. They may well give this thing, and they have, to the Miami Dolphins. I'm telling you, Trace Armstrong just reached in there. There wasn't a fumble on the play. Trace Armstrong just reached in there and just yanked it out. The question then becomes, was the forward progress stopped before that all started? And I think that's fairly close to being true. But Trace Armstrong just out-muscled Lorenzo Neal for the football.
Second turnover committed by New Orleans. Trace Armstrong, who last week re-injured his right knee. He's been playing very well for the Miami Dolphins. Coming over from the Chicago Bears. So the Dolphins get it back. First down at the New Orleans 25-yard line. Change of direction by Irving Spikes. Handling for the first time. Stopped by Robert Pig Goff.
And Mark, the big question, was his forward progress stopped on the play? Because if it were, then it doesn't matter what happened as far as getting the ball yanked out. Watch Lorenzo Neal and see if he's stopped on the play. I guess the argument is he was still leaning and pushing forward. Very, very close to having that one blown dead.
Second down and 11. Kozar with a bullet pass for a first down, connecting with Spikes, who came out of the backfield, taken down by Ernest Dixon. That's good for 12. And a first down for Miami inside the 15.
And now the pressure really on Bernie Kozar. He steps up, makes a nice throw here. The pressure's starting to get close. This is a team that came into the ball game with 21 sacks, second only to the Cincinnati Bengals. But Bernie Kozar has been here before. His biggest relief role, of course, with the Dallas Cowboys in the NFC Championship game. Played most of the second half there and performed very well, throwing a touchdown pass in that one to Alvin Harper.
So Don Shula has staying away from Terry Kirby, who's coughed it up twice. He had this problem earlier in the year with Bernie Parmalee, and now going to Irving Spikes, who was stopped by Winfred Tubbs, who's piling up the tackle numbers. Winfred Tubbs, the middle linebacker in his second year out of Texas. Is Dan Marino wearing those shorts for medical purposes? Something to do with the injured hip? Or is that just a choice of his?
No, I think so. He's convalescent.
Very nice. Second down. And 8. McDuffie in motion. Off the pitch. Spikes. Trying to get outside, but pulled down by Richard Harvey.
And Mark, there you have the story of this ball game. The Miami Dolphins, who are taking so much pride in their improved running game, and they had a great game running the ball last week against the Colts, 148 yards, but they cannot get it going against this defense, which ranks 28th in the NFL. They've been giving up 160 yards a game, but the Miami Dolphins cannot run the football on this bunch. And finally, Kirby being given a chance to get back in.
How about this number, Chris? 15 carries, 17 yards.
Amazing.
Averaging slightly over 1 yard per carry. Third down and 7. Kozar, touchdown! O.J. McDuffie from Bernie Kozar. A 12-yard pass play.
What a gutsy drive there by the Dolphins, by Bernie Kozar. After the Saints go down and score a touchdown, to come right back and match it. And there's the man, Lorenzo Neal. Very, very close on that fumble call, but no question it's given the Dolphins a chance.
So the 12-yard touchdown pass play on a 3rd and 7 call. And here is Stoyanovich. The Saints with a 19-17 lead on the Dolphins. 6:43 to go in this third quarter. O.J. McDuffie having an excellent afternoon.
Mitsubishi Motors presents Diamonds in the Rough. As a first-round pick, the sky was supposed to be the limit for this runner. Instead, he ballooned to a whopping 328 pounds and went nowhere fast. Who is this diamond in the rough?
You and the Mitsubishi Galant. It's bound to be a positive relationship. After all, the Galant's dependable, good-looking, and it recognizes your need for space. Now's your last opportunity to lease a 95 Galant S for $0 down and $249 a month for 36 months. And only Mitsubishi adds $500 cash back. Proof you'll also be financially compatible. But hurry, this could be your last chance at happiness. The Galant from Mitsubishi, the new thinking in automobiles.
Craig Ironhead Hayward has shed the pounds and started shedding tacklers. As a Falcon, Ironhead posted career highs in rushing yardage and TDs last year, and has the surprising Falcons atop the NFC West. Ironhead Hayward, a true diamond in the rough.
The more reasons you have for wanting the most secure life insurance, the better the quiet company sounds. Northwestern Mutual Life.
Presenting the ultimate tire for your 4x4, the Michelin LTX. Michelin technology gives it a smooth, quiet ride. Yet it's tough enough, Michelin enough to get you through anything.
Last night, the Indians tied the series. Now, Earl Hershiser takes the mound against Ken Griffey Jr. and the Mariners in the pivotal Game 5, tonight on NBC.
It ain't cheating if you get away with it. What's the pick right here? As Gary Clark runs into Vince Buck, O.J. McDuffie follows right behind him for the touchdown. Brian Cox starting to feel it a little bit now. That was a big drive, a big score for Bernie Kosar to get a little confidence going with his teammates.
And for O.J. McDuffie's second touchdown catch of the season, Kosar 18 of 24, 227 yards. Here's Tyrone Hughes with the return. Ripping across the 25-yard line. Robert Wilson on the stop. We'll be right back.
The enemy of international commerce used to be distance. Today, it's time. You can no more wait for an urgent shipment from Taipei than from Chicago.
I need those samples.
So only UPS now guarantees overnight delivery by 8 a.m. from business capitals worldwide.
They're still on the loom in Hong Kong.
And since time's your enemy,
If I can't have them first thing tomorrow, I can't use them.
At least you know who your friends are. UPS, 8 a.m. delivery from business centers worldwide.
My name's Bond. James Bond.
Sergeyevna on the top.
On the top?
On the top.
Bond is back.
I enjoy a spirited ride as much as the next girl. Who's that?
The next girl. And things are starting to heat up. One rises to meet a challenge. United Artists brings you no more foreplay. GoldenEye, rated PG-13, starts Friday, November 17th.
With the power of 210 horses and the traction of all-wheel drive, it'll turn more than heads. The Eclipse from Mitsubishi. See your dealer for great lease offers on all Eclipses, including turbo models.
These two head coaches have been with their respective football teams longer than any other active coaches right now. Of course, Don Shula far in the lead, but for Jim Mora, this becomes an important ball game. They've got the lead in this one against a good team in the Miami Dolphins. There's already been some speculation about his job and whether or not he would be retained and all that goes with it. There was speculation earlier in the week that he had met with the owner concerning his situation. Mora denied that, but certainly the people are beginning to talk in New Orleans.
Shula with the Dolphins 381 games, Mora 148 games. 6.5 left, third quarter. Everett in trouble, facing the pressure and handling it well. Able to complete to the tight end, Irv Smith. Held short of the first down by Hollier and Oliver. Lewis Oliver has taken over at strong safety for Michael Stewart, who was shaken up earlier. It appeared that he was all right, but the Dolphins staying with the usual backup, Oliver.
You know, Louis Oliver came for big money to the Cincinnati Bengals, and he was cut. He had a lot of injury problems. He couldn't get back on the field, but now he's back here, and he hasn't been very happy with his playing time. He thinks he deserves to play more, and now because of whatever reason, Michael Stewart unable to go, Louis Oliver in there.
Second down and 2, and it's back to the ground. Mario Bates making his return and hit for a loss by Louis Oliver. Bates got off to the quick start, sprained his ankle. We have not seen him since the first quarter. Jim Mora giving it a go, and Bates is hit for the loss.
And Louis Oliver just coming up from that strong safety position. There's really no one to challenge him on the outside, and they just leave him alone. Going to come up here and make the hit. Like the wide receiver was trying to get a crackback, Michael Haynes, and when he missed, there was no one there to pick him up.
Eric Brown back in the backfield for this third down and 3. Everett, incomplete.
And again, Louis Oliver with 3 straight plays.
That intended for Wesley Walls, who took the hit from Oliver.
You know, Louis Oliver was considered to be one of the better safeties in the game. Remember the play he made in Buffalo, the 103-yard interception return, and went for big money, signed with the Bengals, and then was sort of just discarded and was considered second-hand goods, and now proving valuable once again for Don Shula.
Second punt for Wilmsmeyer. this time the Saints have gone 3 and out. Just did get it off. Chased by McDuffie and muffs it. The Saints have covered up. A twister that McDuffie was trying to follow across the field. Probably should have let it go, and Vince Buck, the free safety, made the recovery.
O.J. McDuffie trying to make the great play, prevent the roll, prevent his offense from being backed up. Just slips right through, and that is a tremendous effort on the recovery, that time by Vince Buck, to be able to pick that thing up cleanly before he got out of bounds. You have to give McDuffie credit for trying, but should have let it go.
Miami with memories of Vince Buck, who scored a touchdown in the Saints' last meeting against Miami on a 34-yard interception. The only touchdown of his career. Comes up with a big play right here. 1st and 10 as Everett looks downfield and throws for the end zone. Michael Haynes on a 22-yard touchdown pass play. Second touchdown of the game for Haynes. He beats Troy Vincent in the end zone.
Marv, I want you to go back and recap this game now. The fumble by Kirby in the first quarter, a touchdown. The second fumble by Kirby, a touchdown. The muff punt by O.J. McDuffie, a touchdown for the New Orleans Saints. The one thing they have not gotten all year was a break, a chance for a short field, and the Dolphins are serving it up room service style here today.
And the fans serving it up boo style for Chip Lohmiller, who has struggled. And here's the sarcastic roar from the crowd as he puts it through. 4:49 remaining in the third. Saints 26, Dolphins 17.
You're my agent. You have to do something about this. My face is on the cup with a duck. Well, I'm allergic to ducks. But what about Bugs Bunny? He's cool. What? Emmitt Smith has bugs? He's just a running back.
Now at McDonald's, get a free Looney Plays to-go cup when you supersize any extra value meal. The NFL's Emmitt Smith with Bugs, Barry Sanders with Taz, Bledsoe with Wiley, and Marino with Daffy on new to-go cups.
How'd I get on a McDonald's cup with Marino? Some agent. I'm allergic to dolphins.
Have you had your break today?
Starting with Windows 95, your computer will be able to take advantage of all that cool new stuff. But it will still be compatible with old stuff. Start growing. Start Windows 95.
There's one way to win the Napa 500, and then there's another. At Napa's Pick the Winner sale, where you can register for a chance to win the Napa 500 Pace Car. While you're here, pick up some great parts and accessories at low prices, like Autolite spark plugs, just 49 cents, and Napa halogen headlights as low as $4.99. The Pick the Winner sale, going on now at Napa.
We keep America running. We keep America running.
Tom Olivedati, the defensive coordinator, putting a lot of pressure on Troy Vincent. No help in the middle of the field again. And because of the rollout, Everett had the time, threw all the way across his body. This is a tough situation against these two wide receivers to leave these corners as good as they are, and they certainly are talented corners, one-on-one against somebody with the speed of Michael Haynes.
So Lohmiller with the approach. The kickoff, Spikes and McDuffie are back. Irving Spikes with the return. Oh, he took a pop, reaching to the 20-yard line. And the Saints celebrating the tackle. J.J. McCleskey, the first to get to Spikes, who went for 14 yards.
No question about it, the difference in this ball game has been the Saints and their ability to take advantage of those Dolphin mistakes.
Miami 4 turnovers, New Orleans with 2, the Dolphins with 3 fumbles and an interception. Chris, you look back, first 5 games, Miami lost 4 fumbles. Today, they have fumbles. And Dan McGuire has come on for Bernie Kosar. No report regarding this move as Bernie Parmalee gets the handoff. Dan McGuire playing for the first time this season in his 5th year out of San Diego State. 6'8". He is the tallest quarterback ever to play in the NFL. Looks like they're looking at Bernie Kosar's hand. It's been a very sharp day for Kosar, taking over for the injured Dan Marino, and he's been replaced now by McGuire. Loss of 3 on the play, a 2nd and 13 at the 18-yard line. Dan McGuire spent 4 years with Seattle, signed with Miami as a free agent. McGuire picking and almost intercepted. A sideline pass that was nearly picked off by Vince Buck. It was intended for Irving Fryer.
And Buck almost made the play here, but let's not make this out to be a disaster for the Miami Dolphins. Dan McGuire, former #1 pick for the Seattle Seahawks. Of course, everyone knows his brother Mark plays with the A's, first baseman there. He has a big arm. I've seen him come in for Seattle and win ball games for that team. He is capable.
Still no word on the injury suffered by Kosar, who was 18 for 24. 2 touchdowns. McGuire's hammered down. Ronaldo Turnbull picking up the sack, his 6th of the season.
Turnbull just absolutely blows right by Ron Heller. Doesn't even slow him down a little bit. And for the Miami Dolphins, very fortunate indeed. That wasn't yet another turnover. I don't know how McGuire held on to that football.
First sack of the day for the Dolphins, who coming into this afternoon's play were #1 in the NFC in sacks. Vince Buck making the fair catch. Tyrone Hughes back in the locker room suffering a neck sprain, and they are x-raying Tyrone Hughes. 41-yard punt by Kidd. 3:26 to go in this 3rd quarter. The Saints now lead the Dolphins 26-17. A reminder, next Saturday, 2:30 Eastern, Notre Dame football back here on NBC Sports. Fighting Irish renewing their longtime rivalry with the Trojans of USC, presented by Champion. University of Southern California, Notre Dame, next Saturday right here. First down at midfield. 85 Walls, the tight end in motion. Everett again hanging in the pocket and throwing deep. And incomplete, intended for Quinn Early, covered by J.B. Brown.
And it's good to see the New Orleans Saints coming out and still firing. This is a team, they don't want to be conservative, but so often teams that have not won, have been in this position, will go conservative. There you get a look at Ronaldo Turnbull, and certainly a nice story there. A guy that grew up in the Virgin Islands, and of course Hurricane Marilyn ripped through there, destroying much of that island, and he started a relief fund. His parents, his sister, his family, all still there, and says it's just so difficult to get the relief help in there.
Bates again turned back, once again losing yardage on the play. Jeff Cross making the stop. And we have received word now from the Miami bench that Bernie Kosar suffered a jammed right thumb, and it is questionable as to whether he will return. A tough break for Bernie Kosar and the Dolphins. Bernie getting the shot here, his first start since back in November of '93 when he started for the Dallas Cowboys in his brief tenure with Dallas, following 9 years as a member of the Cleveland Browns. So Dan McGuire has taken over. The 3rd quarterback is Doug Peterson, who was re-signed this week. 3rd down and 12. Wesley Walls, who has come to life in the 2nd and 3rd quarter. He's been a target. 18-yard pickup. Atkins and Stewart combining on the stop. 3rd catch of the day for Walls.
Remember what Tom Olivadotti, the defensive coordinator for the Dolphins, told us yesterday? Not only was Wesley Walls their best receiving tight end, but he also said that Jim Everett is one of only a handful of quarterbacks in this league that can still throw that 17-yard out route. He has the arm. No one has ever doubted Jim Everett's arm. Maybe a little questioning of his toughness in the pocket, but he certainly has the physical skills.
And a first down for the Saints at the Dolphin 36. Everett to the other side, incomplete. And the crowd here and the Saints looking for an interference on Louis Oliver for the aggressive coverage on Torrance Small.
And Louis Oliver just timing this one out perfectly. Louis is one of those guys. Good call. I don't think there's any interference there. Louis is one of those guys, if they had a tryout camp and brought in a bunch of college players and NFL players, probably would not make the grade. Probably wouldn't make the cut. Physically, not running as fast as he once did, but he just knows what he's doing on the football. He gets himself in position to make plays, and then he makes those plays.
Second down and 10. The draw play for Derek Brown. Short pickup. Brian Cox able to close down Brown. Right here, we're set for an update. Let's check in with Greg Gumbel. Greg?
All right, Marv, at Carolina, the Panthers are on a roll. Vince Workman around the left side. Any New York Jets in the neighborhood? Not enough. 20-12. The Panthers lead the New York Jets under 4 minutes to play in the third quarter, Marv.
It is a very long season for the New York Jets, who have taken on the look of an expansion plan.
Not quite that good. No. That's an expansion team they're playing.
All right, Everett avoiding the blitz. Oh, what a catch! Another New Orleans first down. Torrance Small beating the coverage of Terrell Buckley, picking up 16.
Jim Everett doing a nice job hanging in there under pressure again. Trace Armstrong coming. Really, Everett bailed a little soon. But I don't think there's any question. The game plan now when you play against the Miami Dolphins is you want to take your chances with your third wide receiver against Terrell Buckley. The jury is definitely still out on Terrell. The Packers gave up on him after making him the #1 pick. The teams are picking on Terrell Buckley.
First down at the 16-yard line. Bates slashing his way. Klingbeil there to make the stop. Everett is 16 of 23, 215 yards. He has had a very strong day, although still bothered by the sprained ankle. It's third quarter, running down.
Marv, a touchdown here makes this a 16-point ball game and very difficult for the Miami Dolphins.
So that is the end of the third quarter. Saints up 26-17. We'll return after these messages from your local station.
Friday, a serial arsonist.
I want this case closed.
Is also a murderer.
Better call homicide.
City of Flames, the season premiere of Homicide, NBC Friday.
In 1970, Elton's very first song went gold. Then Rocket Man went gold. Then 103 of his other songs went gold. And now that he's touring with 38 musicians and a small army of stagehands.
And how will you be paying?
Elton's gone gold.
Money? These are gold. Oh, we'll need 371 wake-up calls.
After all, nothing's got the power of gold.
Nothing can stop you. No one can block you. Nothing can get in your way once you've seen the no annual fee NFL Visa card. Now available from MBNA America, the exclusive issuer of the NFL Team Visa cards. This card lets you take your favorite team everywhere you take your Visa. How do you get yours? Run, leap, dash. Just get to the phone and call 1-800-NFL-9919. Apply now because when you use your no annual fee NFL Visa, you get a low introductory annual percentage rate. Plus these crowd pleasers. The NFL 100 Greatest Touchdowns video free. NFL Report, the Insider's Guide. And up to 20% discounts on select officially licensed NFL merchandise. So let nothing get in your way. Call 1-800-NFL-9919 now to apply for your no annual fee NFL Visa with the NFL Shield or any team logo. Call 1-800 NFL 9919 now. Operators are standing by. This is NFL Sunday Ticket.
Telecast is presented by the authority of the National Football League and is intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the express written consent of the NFL is prohibited.
Very popular figure here in New Orleans, former quarterback of the Saints for some 10 years, now radio color commentator for the New Orleans Saints, Archie Manning, who, watching the Saints, recently said, I got to get out of here. I'm having flashbacks. He played on that 1980 team that went 1 up and 15 down. All right, Jim Everett getting his fourth quarter underway, able to connect with the tight end, Irv Smith, stopped by Brian Cox. Third catch for Smith, but a short pickup.
And Brian Cox trying to read Everett's eyes and just chasing the play. Just such a tough physical player. Their best outside pass rusher in the nickel, really brings the heat off the corner, can play the run so well. Super football player, an emotional guy out there. And they need a little emotion right now. They cannot let the Saints in the end zone.
3rd down and 5, 9th play of the drive. Saints leading 26-17. Everett taking the long look, throwing, and broken up, almost intercepted by Terrell Buckley. The pass intended for Terrence Small.
Once again, going after Terrell Buckley, and he had a chance to make a huge difference for his football team here. In good position, the best coverage we've seen by him today. And boy, that hurts. That's a big, big play in the ball game to turn it back over to your offense. Just down 9 points.
And a 29-yard field goal attempt for Chip Lohmiller, who has had a very long day. Missed an extra point. Missed 2 field goals, 2 long-range shots from 47 and 52, and this one is no good. He missed from 29. And we're talking like a rock.
Laboratory tests show the Stanley Sharpshooter staple gun requires a mere 19 pounds of force to drive a staple flush. Our competitor's model requires just a bit more. The Sharpshooter, only from Stanley.
Where will you be when your battery decides to die? It's hard to say. So if your battery's more than 3 years old, maybe now's the time to replace it with the Die Hard battery. At Sears Auto Center.
You're my agent. You have to do something about this. My face is on the cup with a duck. Well, I'm allergic to ducks. But what about Bugs Bunny? He's cool. What? Emmitt Smith has bugs? He's just a running back.
Now at McDonald's, get a free Looney Plays to Go Cup when you supersize any extra value meal. The NFL's Emmitt Smith with Bugs, Barry Sanders with Taz, Bledsoe with Wiley, and Marino with Daffy on new To Go Cups.
How'd I get on a McDonald's cup with Marino? Some agent. I'm allergic to Dolphins.
Have you had your break today?
The NFL on NBC is brought to you by Chevrolet Trucks, the most dependable, longest-lasting trucks on the road. By McDonald's, have you had your break today? And by Liberty Mutual. At Liberty Mutual, we're facing the issues that face our customers.
Well, here in the French Quarter, the locals say it's never too early, never too late. Saints hoping that it's not too late to salvage their season. As you look at Bernie Kosar, who is making his return, sat out the last series after jamming his thumb. Dan McGuire came on. Miami trailing 26-17, opening minute of play in the fourth quarter. And the Dolphins start out from their 20-yard line. Kosar picked off. Oh, no! It's knocked away. Byers, the intended receiver, Ernest Dixon, on the interception, was stripped, but the ball carried out of bounds, and the Saints take over.
Bernie, with pressure in his face, tried to get it up over the top of Ronaldo Turnbull. The ball sailed as it did earlier on that prior interception and right into the hands of Ernest Dixon. And the Saints using up all their luck in this one as the ball fumbled, but rolls right out of bounds. Maybe this finally will be the day for Jim Mora and the Saints.
2 interceptions, 3 fumbles by the Dolphins for their 5 turnovers. New Orleans, first down at the 11-yard line. That is Neal in motion. Bates trying to get something going. Picked up about a half yard on the play. Bernie Kosar, just a week and a half ago, was contemplating surgery on his finger, not the thumb that he injured today, and it was thought, what with Dan Marino's status, that they would wait, and fortunately they did. Bernie Kosar with a very strong first half, but things turning here in the second half.
And Marv, you have to wonder how much that thumb played a factor in that throw, and you wonder whether or not they will trust him now back on the field if he's unable to pick the football.
Second and about 9. Bates to the middle of the line, and he's stopped. And again, you can hear the reaction from the crowd. Ryan Cox celebrating the tackle as he got the grips on Mario Bates.
And because of the missed field goal now by Chip Lohmiller, the prior possession, now if the Dolphins defense can come out here, at least hold them to a field goal opportunity, which is what you have to call them with the way Lohmiller's kicking today, could be a key moment now for this Miami defense. If they can just give up 3 here, they keep their team very much in the ballgame.
It's a third down and 9. Quinn Early is to the left, Torrance Small to the right, and a timeout being taken by Jim Everett. Took a look at the Miami defense and decided he'd like to talk it over with 12:37 left in the fourth.
Sure, you've got a car, got a dog, even got some fun-loving friends. But have you got what it takes to be a mountain man? All it really takes are the 2 cool beers of the Mountain Man. Smooth Busch beer and easy drinking Busch Light. So, be a mountain man. All you gotta do is head for the mountains.
There are more than 77 million parents in America today. 77 million moms and dads, all doing the same thing, worrying about their kids. That's why you need Chevy Lumina, a car you can trust. Lumina offers an integrated child safety package. Few cars can offer your kids this protection, and no car in its class can offer it for the price of a Lumina. For 77 million of you, that's one less thing to worry about. That's genuine Chevrolet.
Domino's presents Gus's Guide to the Game. Today's lesson, picking a winner. Big game today, Howie. Who do you like?
I gotta go with Buffalo.
Buffalo!
Domino's Buffalo wings.
You can't go wrong with these guys.
Allow me another pick.
Certainly, Howie, my man.
Want to win the ultimate pregame party weekend in New York? Send us a video of your pregame rituals. We'll judge them, and you might. Call 1-800-391-3993 for contest details.
The NFL on NBC is brought to you by Domino's Pizza. Call now and have Domino's deliver the ultimate deep dish pizza. Because when it's gotta be deep, it's gotta be Domino's.
Welcome back to the Louisiana Superdome. Marv Albert with Chris Collinsworth. 12:37 remaining in the fourth quarter, and the Saints leading the Dolphins 26-17 in a wild ball game. A host of mistakes by both clubs, particularly the Dolphins, who have turned it over 5 times.
And really, the best opportunity for Don Shula's club is getting his thumb worked on right now.
And Kosar leaving for one series with that jam thumb. Everett with a timing pattern intended for early, and a flag down. J.B. Brown on the coverage of Quinn Early.
The question now is going to be, Marv, was this ball uncatchable? It is not pass interference if it's ruled uncatchable. J.B. Brown had his hand on him, didn't get his head, flipped back around the other side. They're going to call, I believe, holding instead of pass interference. That right hand is going to come in.
Pass interference, number 37, defense in the end zone, first down.
It looked like J.B. Brown just grabbed the arm of Quinn Early, and that was the foul, and what a major blow now for this Dolphin defense. Again, the question, though, Marv, was that ball catchable? Not pass interference. Perhaps the official ruling that if he had not been held on the play, he would have gotten there.
So it is a 1st and goal at the 1. Bates lining up in the slot. Long deep back is Neal, and he's stopped. Lorenzo Neal not able to pick up the yardage, and he's hit for a loss on the play. Chuck Klingbeil was right there.
Well, any questions about this Miami Dolphins defense's heart after what happened in the second half last week? Answered to some degree here. Right up front, Klingbeil and Bowens and the big guys in the middle. Tim Bowens, and a lot of people now considering him around the league to be one of the best defensive tackles playing.
2nd and goal at the 2. Play action. Everett for the end zone. Intended for Wesley Walls, covered by Brian Cox.
Brian Cox showing a lot of versatility to be able to get out there and cover a tight end in the corner of the end zone. Walls coming out from the tight end position, and looked like Cox was beaten on the play. Got there, just got a fingertip. You could see change the flight of the ball, literally fractions of an inch. Made that play, and the Dolphins with a great opportunity on 3rd down.
3rd and goal at the 2. Everett to the end zone. Touchdown! Irv Smith, the tight end, able to get behind the linebacker, Dwight Howyer. So the Saints extend to a 32-17 lead, and I would think a sigh of relief for Lohmiller, who did not want to come on to attempt another field goal.
Didn't have to make a kick. Now he has a nice short one. See Irv Smith just turning around in the back of the end zone, and Dwight Howyer tried to get there but got there late. After the play, Brian Cox went after the referee, and he's still after the referee. Not exactly sure why he's so upset, but immediately after the play, and he's not even going to wear his helmet for this extra point.
And Chip Lohmiller was hearing the boos from the crowd, able to put it through. 12 minutes to go in this 4th quarter. Saints 33, Dolphins 17.
To play for a team in the NBA, taking it downtown, crashing the boards. With DirecTV's NBA Team Pass, at least I can follow any team. Or I can give it the full court press, NBA League Pass. Every team, the Magic, Knicks, Rockets, Suns, up to 30 great matchups every week. Yeah, I could be out there with those guys. Really, I could. You won't find the NBA like this on cable, so call 1-800-DIRECTV.
でお子さんたち新しいコンピューター気に入ったの？
それがまだ立ち上げてないんだ。何しろ僕は不器用なもんでね。
うちじゃアクティバがみんなに大人気。IBM のホームコンピューター、CD ラムがついててトップトップいっぱいあるし、箱から出してすぐ使えるようになってるんですよ。
単にでもセットアップできるってわけ？
腕はいらないのよ。
On one side, you've got the Atlantic. On the other, the Pacific. And in between, the wide open spaces of the Chevy S-Series. Pack your bags. Chevy trucks like a rock.
Last season, the Houston Rockets pulled off the improbable, a second NBA title back-to-back. Now, Clyde the Glide Drexler leads the two-time defending world champion Rockets as they blast off to London to face Europe's best. The McDonald's Championship, next Saturday at 12 noon Eastern on NBC.
Brian Cox claiming there was a pick on the play, and that's what enabled Irv Smith to get open. You can see Cox immediately after the play begin pointing and go right after the referee.
First touchdown catch of the season for Irv Smith. O.J. McDuffie on the return. And dropped across the 15-yard line. The Saints try to get to the ball. 18-yard return. Again, J.J. McCleskey making the stop.
Obviously, the celebration after the play for the Saints is they are now beginning to believe that they might just finally win a ball game. And for Brian Cox, this has been a miserable afternoon.
And for Miami defensive coordinator Tom Olivadotti, not a pleasant way to spend a Sunday afternoon. The last 3 games, the Dolphins now have allowed 10 touchdown passes.
16-point deficit now because of the 2-point conversion rule. They do have a chance on 2 touchdowns.
Kozar able to rifle it. McDuffie circling his way. And he is down at the 25-yard line.
It was interesting talking to Winfred Tubbs, the middle linebacker. He said, I wish Marino were playing in this one. I don't want the Dolphins to have any excuses at all.
Do you believe that?
No. Just thought I'd throw it in there.
Very nice, Chris.
Thank you.
Second down and 1 out of the shotgun. Kozar has a first down, combining with Kirby. Rough day for Terry Kirby. He's played so well, but fumbled twice, both times. The turnovers leading to New Orleans touchdowns. Winfred Tubbs made the stop. And a player is down. Richard Harvey, the weak side linebacker, is hurt. Richard Harvey signed as a free agent from Denver. Has played well. He's been bothered by a pulled hamstring coming in. 11:02 to go in this fourth quarter. The Saints now lead 33-17. Looking ahead to our schedule next week. NFL doubleheader here on NBC. In the second half of the twin bill, most of you will see Kansas City at Denver. The Chiefs winning today against New England. What an ending, though, this past Monday night against San Diego in overtime. Chiefs win it on this 86-yard punt return by Tamarick Vanover. So that wrapped things up for Kansas City.
I guess we could say he was a bit of a blur on that play.
Yes, you can. Kansas City Chiefs going to a record of 6-1. Richard Harvey headed to the sidelines. Had a good one today. 9 tackles for Harvey.
No, this has been the most bizarre game, though. By quarter, Miami Dolphins rushing game. In the first quarter, 12 yards. The second quarter, 4 yards. And the third quarter, -1 yards. Cannot get it going on the ground.
And appear at times to have abandoned the run.
Oh, well, wouldn't you?
Well, you still like to try to set up the pass, but McDuffie on the catch. Short pickup. About 5 on the play.
And Mark, that snap surprised Bernie Kozar, and I think it hit him in his bad thumb. Or now he's working on his fingers, so now he's got a sore thumb and he's got bad fingers too.
Second down and 5. Kozar able to step it up and throws deep downfield. Broken up. Mike Williams covered by Eric Allen, and a flag is thrown. And Eric Allen pleading his case. It will be an interference on the right corner. Number 21, Eric Allen.
And Eric Allen, this was pretty close. Mike Williams gave Eric Allen a bit of a push at the tail end of this play as well. They're going back and forth, but defensively, if you don't get that head around, you will not get the benefit of the doubt.
Apparently another flag thrown.
The 69 offense, they'll offset.
Oh,
well, Saints very fortunate offsetting penalties. Penalty against the Miami Dolphins.
It going against Keith Sims, the left guard, and Keith Sims has not practiced all week because of an aggravated toe injury. But that was a play that could have put the Dolphins back in this one, and now still a long way to go.
Instead of second down and 5, Miami from its 36-yard line. 10 minutes left in the fourth. Kozar got the protection and then try to hit Kirby over the middle.
Willie Broughton with the pressure. Really, Bernie had time to throw, just not getting people open down the field. And there's one of the problems when you're not playing a lot. You just don't have that same feel in the pocket, the moving around, and really the Saints knew that coming in. They knew that Bernie wasn't a very mobile guy. They didn't have to worry about the outside contain as much, and they could really tee off on him.
Yes, Don Shula telling us last night he would not be adding any sprint outs or quarterback draws for Kozar today. Bernie able to complete for the first down with McDuffie. Tyrone Hughes on the stop.
And this is when Bernie is tough, though. He's a very intelligent guy, knows how to get in and out of situations. I used to do a lot of this with him in Cleveland as well.
First down play. Again, he goes short range. Again, Kirby. And another Miami first down. Richard Harvey is back on the field along with Jimmy Spencer combining to make the stop.
And you know, the thing that the 2-minute drill does to a defense, unconsciously, you're out there and you're thinking prevent defense. You know, it's like when you get in the 2-minute and you start backing off, you give a little more room, and pretty soon they're marching right down the field.
Goes out of the sideline, almost intercepted. Allen stepping in front of Fryer. Eric Allen is still looking for his first interception of the season. He has 34 for his career.
And the Dolphins let us know yesterday that they had no fear of Eric Allen. They were going to throw in his direction. That ball just thrown so late, though, by Bernie Kozar. It gave Eric a chance to recover on the play. Really, he was beaten initially by Irving Fryer.
Eric Allen, the one-time Philadelphia Eagle in his 8th season out of Arizona State. Second down and 10. Kozar able to step up, and he completes. First down and more for Irving Fryer. Anthony Newman made the stop, a 23-yard pass play. And the Dolphins first down at the 20-yard line. We're talking about Eric Allen among active players. He is right there behind Eugene Robinson, Albert Lewis, Darrell Green.
Big money to come over from Philadelphia.
First down at the 20-yard line. Kozar with a long look. And completes once again. It'll be a first and goal as Gary Clark is able to pull his way. Stopped by Allen. That's good for 19. Clark with his 3rd reception of the day.
And the key's the protection. Look at this. I mean, even the Miami offensive lineman just standing around, and Winfred Tubbs may have hurt himself on the play. He's walking off now.
And they're in the hurry-up, wasting no time to punch it in. Bernie Kozar on the quarterback sneak.
Now the decision whether or not to go for 2. I think you absolutely go for 2 here.
And they are going for the 2-point conversion, which would cut it into an 8-point deficit. And if they score again, they go for the 2 and you have a tie game.
That's right. And you can see the Saints defense just absolutely dragging right now. They were just standing flat-footed. You can see them taking their helmets off now, kneeling down in the back of the end zone. They're exhausted after that drive. Well, that looked like the Bernie Kozar of old as you look at the guys sucking eggs, as they call it in the league. But for Bernie Kozar, he looked like back in his days with the Cleveland Browns and throwing to Ozzie Newsome and company there.
There's Dan Marino lending a hand. Bernie Kozar has been so helpful to Marino working the sidelines. Bernie coming up with a couple of key play call suggestions. Chris, you'll recall last year he had suggested that fake spike play to beat the Jets. Right. And this season he suggested the fade out, the route leading to a touchdown pass to O.J. McDuffie against the Bengals.
That's exactly right. So now it's one of those, what other bright ideas do you have? He needs one for himself right here, because it makes it, if they don't make this, it's a 2-possession game for the Dolphins. They would need 2 scores in order to get back in it. And the the Saints, really, they're just now coming back from the timeout and still sort of dragging around. But this is a big, big play in the ball game.
Plenty of time remaining, though. 8 minutes and 5 seconds. Kirby is the stop.
This Royal Dirt Devil upright only $129.88, and this Thermos Deluxe steel bottle just $19.99.
When Subway asked us, Bucky and Vinny, to review their authentic steak and cheese sandwich, we went to the steak and cheese capital of the world, Philadelphia.
Hey, this is where they filmed my favorite movie.
How about a great steak and cheese? Hey, champ, steak and cheese, please.
This is very good, this is. Like it, huh?
This is the real McCoy. Tender, juicy steak with loads of melted cheese, all on fresh baked bread.
We have a winner.
Subway, what a sandwich.
Monday, it's the trial of the decade for Uncle Phil.
We lost another juror today.
Did you check under your robe?
And the family joins the media circus.
Please welcome the Dancing Phils.
Then get ready for a shocker. Jackie's ex is back, and guess who lets him move in the house? After the Fresh Prince, NBC Monday.
Bernie Kosar saw his two best offensive linemen uncovered. A soft bubble situation over Sims and Webb. He made the audible, but really it was just a matter of Robert Pig Goff overpowering Tim Ruddy and making the play.
Line drive kickoff from Stoyanovich, played by Hughes. Tyrone Hughes. Back at the 23-yard line by Frankie Smith. So that is where New Orleans will start out. An NBC comedy doubleheader coming your way tonight. One of NBC's newest comedy hits, The Single Guy, followed by News Radio, starring Phil Hartman. That'll be tonight after the League Championship Series right here on NBC. Viewers on the West Coast, check your local listings. Just under 8 minutes left in this fourth quarter. And the Saints with a 33-23 lead on the Dolphins. Started out as the draw, and Brown tried to go outside, picked up a yard on the play. Dwight Collier on the stop. It's a game that has seen Miami turn it over 5 times, 3 fumbles, 2 interceptions by Bernie Kosar, although Kosar has played well. 25 of 34, 310 yards. Only 16 yards on the ground for Miami. That is the surprise against the team that is right at the bottom in terms of defending against the rush. Second down and 8. And Brown is stopped. And you can hear the reaction from the crowd. Chuck Klingbeil got the grips on Derek Brown.
And right now the New Orleans Saints falling into that trap a little bit. Anytime you get the lead, there's Carl Smith, the offensive coordinator. You want to be conservative, you want to run some clock, and certainly with the 10-point lead. But as the Dolphins learned a week ago, there's a lot of things can happen in 6+ minutes in the NFL.
It's a third down and 8 at the 26-yard line. 6.5 remaining in the fourth. Everett facing some pressure. The ball's tipped, so it's broken up. Jeff Cross got a piece of it. And it's 3 and out for the Saints.
You know the Dolphins are going to be playing the run on the first 2 downs. You try and come back on third down when the Dolphins get their nickel situation in there. Very, very conservative with the play call in that series.
And here is Klaus Wilmsmeyer, one-time San Francisco 49er, who did not get much of an opportunity to punt with the 49ers in his 4th year out of Louisville. O.J. McDuffie is back. Wilmsmeyer is awaiting the snap at his 10-yard line. And just did get it off. But there was contact And a flag is down. Sean Hill, who has been guilty on a number of occasions this season. He's been hit by 5 penalties. It was Hill rushing the punter. And Wilsmeyer is shaken up.
And Hill just missed. They had the all-out rush coming on the punt, and Hill breaks free right up the middle. He's their special team MVP right at the punter and runs right into him. No question about it. The Dolphins were coming out and claiming that the ball was tipped by Sean Hill, but I don't believe that any contact was made on the football. Very close. You're Sean Hill, you've got the all-out rush, and that's the dangerous part about that rush right up the gut when you're trying to go after the punter, because if you miss, more often than not, you get the penalty. And that really is going to take the steam out of this Dolphin team. They had the football back in good field position, and now the ball goes back to the Saints.
Klaus Wilsmeyer, one of the Saints' heroes today. Remember that early 20-yard pass connecting with Anthony Newman on a fake punt. And as you mentioned, Saints maintain possession. They have it at their 41-yard line. So Jim Everett and the offensive unit back on the field. Everett has thrown 4 touchdown passes. The Saints record 6 by Billy Kilmer back in November of 69. Everett going to the out pattern for Quinn Early. Brown on the stop, early 6th catch of the day, and it's a pickup of 5, a second down and 5.
And you know, the special teams have been somewhat less than special today for the Miami Dolphins. O.J. McDuffie with the fumbled punt, the muff punt, and now the roughing the kicker foul when really the momentum was on the side of the Miami Dolphins. Your offense had just gone the length of the field. Defense make the play, and then the special teams turn right back over.
Here's Brown again trying to get to the outside, but he's cut off. Lewis Oliver, Dwight Collier combining to make the stop on Derek Brown.
And for the Dolphins defense and Tom Olivadotti, this may well be the play of the ball game. You get another 3rd down situation. 3rd down and about 7 now. As the clock ticking down towards 5 minutes. Remember, you need two scores in order to win here, or at least tie the ball game.
Line up for this 3rd and 7. Incomplete. Crowd looking for an interference on Oliver, who made the contact with the intended receiver, Michael Haynes.
Boy, and Louis Oliver has just played a terrific football game. He has an amazing sense of timing of when he's allowed to make contact with the receivers. He's perfectly timed out, made sure Michael Haynes did not have an opportunity to lay out for that football. Good defensive play. He's made several today.
4th down and 7, and again, Wilsmeyer checks in. McDuffie is back at his 10. Let's see how the Dolphins approach this. Wilsmeyer gets it away without any problem. And here's McDuffie. Got a cut back. Good coverage by the Saints. 34-yard punt by Klaus Wilsmeyer. Reminder coming up. After Miami and New Orleans, it'll be Game 5 of the League Championship Series. Mariners and Indians in Cleveland, all tied at 2 apiece. Bob Costas, Bob Uecker on hand. That's Game 5 coming up next right here on NBC. It'll be a 1st and 10 at the 22-yard line for the Dolphins.
Big Willie Rofe, who's had a pretty good battle going on all day today with Marco Coleman. But for Jim Mora, it's getting close. He can almost taste that first win and depressurize the situation and the pressure on him here in New Orleans.
Ernie Kosar throwing downfield, incomplete, intended for O.J. McDuffie. Tyrone Leggett on the coverage.
And Jim Mora was telling me the other day that we're close. He said, I know you look, you're 0-5, and you think that we just don't have it as a football team. We're not going to be a factor. We're not any good defensively. All the numbers are against us. But I'm telling you, we're close. We're not that bad of a football team. And certainly with some of the gift wrap packages from the Miami Dolphins today, it's been a lot easier.
Well, next Sunday they play at Carolina, but then they have the 49ers at San Francisco before returning home for the Cardinals. That over the head of McDuffie. Brings up a 3rd and 10. And you see the discussion of obvious miscommunication between Bernie Kosar and O.J. McDuffie.
It has to be tough for Don Shula to look over his shoulder and see that guy standing there, the second best quarterback in league history, and creating come-from-behind wins. Only John Elway better.
3rd and 10, 4:23 to go in the 4th quarter. 10-point lead for the Saints. Kosar blitz one, completing to McDuffie for the first down. Ernest Dixon makes the stop. And that can be categorized as a very typical Bernie Kosar pass play.
Just another one of those things that Bernie can do from time to time. Improvisation.
Or whatever.
Or something like that.
Right.
Do I have to spell it?
No, sorry.
Thank you.
First down. Kosar forced to scramble, taken down, and then try to whip it away. But he was down, I believe.
He tried to do one of those things again.
Richard Harvey pursuing Kosar and came up with New Orleans' 2nd sack of the day.
The knee down before the throw out. So the sack.
First time they've gotten to Kosar. The other sack on Dan McGuire, who had come on when Kosar hurt his thumb. 2nd and 18 for the Dolphins. Kosar trying to step up, completing short of the first down to Gary Clark, who was met by Tyrone Leggett. 4th catch for Clark. That's good for 14. It'll be a 3rd and 4.
And the Dolphins with all 3 of their timeouts remaining. 4-down territory, so 2 shots from here to pick up 3 yards.
And a direct snap handled by Kirby and has a first down.
Mark, this is a situation where you don't want to call timeout if you're the Miami Dolphins. The Saints are dragging. They're obviously tired. They're walking around, their hands on their hips. Take advantage of it offensively.
Time running down. 2:45 to go. Low snap. Played by Kosar. Kosar in trouble. Able to find Fryer, though. Just short of the first down. Fryer taking the hit from Harvey. And we're down to 2.5 to go in this 4th quarter.
Boy, these are like 2 heavyweight fighters in the 15th round just throwing haymakers now. Yes. And Richmond Webb just came crawling up to the line of scrimmage. He's exhausted.
2nd and 1. Kosar throwing. Incomplete, but a flag is down. McDuffie took the pump. Tyrone Leggett on the coverage.
Pass interference. 43 defense. First down.
Leggett just tackling him before the ball got there. And those little Band-Aids on their noses aren't helping anybody right now. Everybody just completely gassed, but once again, the Dolphins moving it down the field. And now how much did that roughing the punter hurt this team? It cost them about 2 minutes worth of opportunity to move the ball. Since they've gone into this 4 wide receiver set, they've moved it at will.
First down at the New Orleans 16. Kosar on the run, throwing, and broken up. Leggett getting a hand on it. So Kosar now 28 for 40, 352 yards, 2 touchdowns, and he was picked off twice. That pass intended for Gary Clark in the end zone.
And Bernie Kosar had some room to run with his football. I thought he was just going to take off. Man coverage down the field. He may have at least gotten it down inside the 5-yard line, and Gary Clark Not doing a very good job there. He needs to come back to that football. He gave the defense a chance to catch up.
Second down and 10. Clark to the left, Fryer to the right. The running back is Kirby. Diving catch. O.J. McDuffie, and now it's ruled incomplete. The ruling that he scooped it up. As we come up on 2 minutes remaining in this fourth quarter, here's another look at it. Well, he had it, could not hold on. We'll be right back.
Liberty Mutual presents Legends of the Game. He provided a measure of menace and a double dose of muscle for Dallas's doomsday defense. In Super Bowl V, he became the game's first defensive MVP. Who was this legend?
Oh, come on. No. Great.
The issue is auto theft. It's out of control. Liberty Mutual is the first insurer to give police tracking devices that get stolen cars back 95% of the time. And these devices also help catch the thieves. So you both get what you deserve. Liberty Mutual, facing the issues that face our customers.
Chuck Howley was equal parts power and passion. And when the 6-time All-Pro retired, Coach Tom Landry said, "I don't know that I've ever seen anybody better at linebacker. A true legend of the game."
There was a time when we didn't have a worry in the world. Today, well, we seem to be making up for it. That's why you need Chevy Lumina. A car you can trust. A car so well engineered and affordable, you could have it paid off long before it needs its first tune-up. Chevy Lumina. Because someday you'll realize nobody's got enough money and everybody's got enough worries.
Next Sunday at 12:30 Eastern, an NFL on NBC doubleheader. First, the Chicago Bears host the Houston Oilers, or the Dolphins take on the Jets. Then it's an AFC Wild West matchup when Steve Bono and the Chiefs battle John Elway and the Broncos, or regional action. The NFL on NBC, made in America, played in America, next Sunday.
Watch this exchange on the sideline. Dan Marino calling Bernie Kosar over and saying, right here, throw it to Gary Clark. Keep an eye on Clark here. He's at the bottom of your screen.
3rd and 10 at the 16. Kosar throwing for the end zone. Touchdown. While Clark was covered, he went the other way for Kirby. A 16-yard touchdown pass play, and the Dolphins are very much alive with 1:54 remaining in this fourth quarter.
No question about it. All 3 timeouts remaining. They even have the opportunity to kick it deep and call the timeouts. I'm sure Dan's going to take credit for this one when it comes back on Monday. He said, I told you to throw it to Kirby on that other sideline. Actually, on the other side of the field, though, Gary Clark was open.
10 plays, 77 yards, and 2:33. Stojanovic puts it through. So the Saints 33, the Dolphins 30.
Presenting the ultimate tire for your sport utility vehicle, the Michelin LTX. Michelin's technological advances in sidewall and tread design give it a smoother, quieter ride than you might ever expect from a 4x4 tire. Yet it's rugged enough, tough enough, Michelin enough to get you through anything. The LTX series from Michelin.
I don't know, Chris, was that a decoy play on the part of Dan Marino? But you say that Clark was open.
He was open down at the bottom of the screen. They had the inside coverage, inside technique by his man just right down here. You're going to see the corner jumping inside, and Clark's going to be open running the out route. So Dan Marino knew what he was talking about as well. Take a touchdown on either side of the field. Now the question becomes, do you onside kick this ball with all 3 timeouts remaining and needing a field goal? I don't think that you do. I think you're going to see the Dolphins kick it deep and try and stop them on 3 plays and get the football back.
10 plays, 77 yards on that last drive. So the Saints with a 33-30 lead on the Dolphins. The ever dangerous Tyrone Hughes drops back for the kickoff from Pete Stoyanovich.
The hands team deployed, and it looks like an onside kick for the Dolphins. And they're going to go back the other way with it. I think they're just going to kick it deep.
That is what Stoyanovich does. Hughes lets it bounce in, and they'll bring it out to the 20-yard line. With a minute and 54 remaining in this fourth quarter, Miami does have its 3 timeouts remaining.
No question about it. Now one first down wins it for the New Orleans Saints. If they can get one first down, Jim Mora can walk out of this building for a change in a good mood. And for the Miami Dolphins, no choice. You run these 3 plays, you have to take the quick timeouts. And hopefully give Bernie Kosar one more shot, because they have been moving at will against the Saints defense.
All right, the Saints to the line, led by the former Dolphin, their center, Jeff Ulanay. First and 10 from the 20 for Jim Everett. Eric Brown, short pickup. Immediate timeout taken by Miami. Bowens and Coleman on the stop of Brown. Will be back in a moment.
Back after this.
It's me, Loud Larry, coming to you live from Loud Larry's Car Corral. Come on down and join the family.
Tired of being interrupted by loud commercials while you're trying to watch television? Get a Magnavox with the exclusive Smart Sound feature.
With Smart Sound, commercials are never louder than the program.
Smart. Very smart.
Back in New Orleans, Marv Albert, Chris Collinsworth, 1:49 left in the fourth. Saints with a 33-30 lead on the Dolphins. New Orleans going for its first win of the season, 0-5 coming in. Miami at 4-1. They come off the overtime loss to the Colts, a game that they led 24-3 at one point. Looking ahead, the Dolphins next Sunday play the Jets at the New Jersey Meadowlands.
Marv, I'm thinking some kind of screen pass, something like that. You can't give the Dolphins the ball back with a minute and a half to go and needing just a field goal.
2nd and 9, Everett to the sideline and has his first down. Wesley Walls has been a very dependable receiver. That's good for 17 yards. The tight end Walls with his 4th catch of the day.
Just a great call that time by Carl Smith, the offensive coordinator. He had it right on the money. And you could tell by the look on Jim Mora's face after that first down call that he was not happy. He knew he couldn't afford to just go 3 and out here. Open it up, take your shots. Great clutch throw in there by Jim Everett. Now very difficult. 1 timeout remaining. I don't think, to sort of back time my brain, but I don't think that the Dolphins can get the football back.
Everett is now 20 for 31, 241 yards, and 4 touchdowns. He has thrown 13 touchdowns on the season.
Actually, I think because of the 1 timeout, they may be in a position to get it with just seconds remaining in this game.
89 early in motion. And the play is blown dead. Referee Johnny Greer.
Ball start, number 82, offense.
And that's the tight end, Irv Smith. Resetting the clock to a minute and 38 to go.
Boy, when you're 0-5, it just is never easy. These guys have played well, though. They've picked up the pace offensively, and defensively they've made more plays today probably than they've made during the rest of the season.
Saints now looking at a 1st and 15 from their 35-yard line. And Marino sitting it out today with a knee problem, recovering from the arthroscopic surgery, sore left hip. Kirby able to score that last touchdown, but earlier in the game, a couple of fumbles that hurt. Again, early in motion. And to the ground for Eric Brown. And a quick timeout taken by Miami with 1:34 remaining in the 4th quarter. Reminder following the game, it'll be game 5 of the league championship series. Seattle and Cleveland, Oral Hershiser, Chris Bossio, and then an NBC comedy doubleheader, The Single Guy and News Radio. That is coming up next. Now, the last time that the Saints tasted victory, December 24th, 1994, last season, as they defeated Denver 30-28. That was the final game of the season. Last year, the Saints finishing up at 7-9. The defense that had carried New Orleans finally unraveling last year. They finished tied with Atlanta and, of course, out of the playoffs. Looking to hold on to beat the Dolphins here at home with 1:34 remaining. They have a 3-point lead, a 2nd down and 12 from their 38-yard line. Neal and Brown in the backfield. And early in motion. Brown following his blocker. It's up to the 40-yard line, met by Brian Cox. The clock is running now. Miami out of timeouts.
And when the play ended there and the 40-second clock went back, there was 1:30, so there will be a 10-second differential. If the Saints can sort of scramble around here on this play and kill off about 10 seconds, then they could actually run it off. So you may see Jim Everett toss it to a back on a sweep or something. Just tell him kill a little clock. They certainly don't want to punt the football back or take a chance on the rushing the punter and getting a block kick.
It's a 3rd down and 9. Well, the handoff to Brown. Again, Derek Brown with a couple. Down to 40 seconds.
So there's going to be about a 5-second differential here. And you laugh, but I was in a ball game like this one time. We had the ball and the lead against the San Francisco 49ers, and there ended up being 6 seconds to go on the clock. We had the ball 4th down. Sam White called a sweep play, came right back, did not make it, stopped immediately. Jerry Rice caught the game-winning touchdown pass on the next play.
Well, the crowd cheering the New Orleans Saints with time running down. And the clock is stopped with 3 seconds remaining. Let's see if they make an adjustment here.
Yeah, and I don't think you punt the football here. With 3 seconds, you take the ball and you just run around a little bit. You don't want to send your punt team out on the field. That was Sam White's theory back in the game in which I played. I mean, you can literally, the other option is you can take a safety. You can run around a little bit. You can run back in the end zone for all that matters. Just do a foot race. All you have to do is run off 3 seconds. You just don't want to put yourself in a position where they're going to do whatever. So, I mean, Jim Everett can literally stand up and fire it out of the back of the end zone if he wants to.
And apparently 3 seconds are left.
Yeah, probably the best play here is just go maximum protection, let Jim Everett drop back until he sees the clock run out.
And the Saints have taken a timeout. Crowd here of 64,000, some 6,000 short of a sellout, celebrating what they feel is a Saints victory. And it appears to be safe to say it will be a Saints victory. Baseball coming up next. Mariners and Indians tied in their series at 2 apiece. Game 5 from Jacobs Field in Cleveland, following Miami and New Orleans right here on NBC.
And Terry Kirby hoping things goes better for his brother tonight, Wayne Kirby, who plays for the Indians, than what they've gone for him thus far in this one. They are going to punt this football. To me, that's a shock. Now here comes the offense. This is the call. You just take Jim Everett, you bring out maximum protection, put everybody on the line of scrimmage, let him drop back, watch the clock tick down, and take a knee. Of course, if you get sacked or it doesn't work, all of a sudden change of possession, you run the field goal team out there. So there's some risk involved here now, too.
A lot of shuffling. First, Wilmsmeyer, the punter, came on, and then Everett and his group came on. Everett out of a shotgun. 3 seconds left. 3-point lead for the Saints. And Everett just puts it in the air, looking to overthrow the secondary as time runs out.